and welcome to the Demons Clubcast episode 7 with your hosts K13, Maddogg, Meanjoegreen, and myself, UncleChowdr. Um, we're gonna start with what we've been playing. Since Maddogg is back for this episode, let's start with Maddogg. What did you get some time to play over this holiday week?
Dude, honestly, the holidays were busy, so I think I played a grand total of 4.5, maybe 5 hours
Okay.
during this entire last week. I played a little bit the first Spider-Man on the PS4 because I moved the PS4 upstairs. So I did that on Thanksgiving, kind of while I was cooking basically and had time to spend. That way I could just pause. Like my oven goes off 60 seconds before I need to do anything. So it goes off, I pause the game. So I played that for a little bit, and then I jumped on Warzone with my buddy Dogwater last night. A couple of good games. We didn't clinch the dub, but we did get a close second. But it was just fun to kind of get back into the swing of things. I've kind of been a little AFK here recently, kind of just dealing with some things in the family and in the holidays. So just kind of rethinking everything right now, really. But other than that, I really haven't been active on the games or anything. I've really been kind of, I don't know, getting caught up on movies here recently. That's what I have been doing this week.
Word, word. Well, I mean, hey, sometimes you gotta take care of the personal stuff first, so that's totally understandable. Little
Right.
shout, little shout to the chat, Mo. Thank you for hopping in, and Calidora. Always appreciate your presence, anytime, anywhere. So, thank you guys very much for hopping in here, and lurkers, appreciate you guys. K13, what have you been playing slash watching? What you been up to?
Um, I have not been able to play Alan Wake with the holiday week. Just kind of time messed that up, and then the reschedule of the Slaughter to Prevail concert was on Tuesday, so that's my stream day. So things got kind of jumbled, but mostly just been playing Modern Warfare, Warzone. So some close games. I don't think we really got too many dubs this weekend, but some pretty good games in there. Highs and lows, of course. It's Call of Duty.
We did have some close games.
Mm-hmm.
We did.
Almost clutched a few ones, but that's all right.
All right. Joe, Mean Joe, what you been playing?
I wouldn't call it playing, but I've been capturing a lot of video for Baldur's mostly, just for this fucking video I've been trying to get out forever.
I'm excited for it.
Yeah, dude, so am I. I mean, what you got so far I think looks great. So I'm excited to see the finished product and see what you fully come up with.
Yeah, it's about 22 minutes long right now, and it started out as one thing and then turned into another. It was mostly just going to be like a love letter and like a kind of a casual's perspective on Baldur's Gate because, I'm not someone that's super familiar with the genre, believe it or not. It is turn-based, but it's probably one of the first CRPGs that I really dedicated myself to. So it started out as that, and then I kind of just started referencing other games and essentially how Baldur's kind of ruined a lot of games for me this year, and it's a lot of shitting on Bethesda, unfortunately, but I couldn't help myself.
Everybody's entitled to their opinions. Everybody is allowed to like what they like and don't like.
Even if they're wrong. Just kidding.
Well, that's the thing about gaming.
It's not attacking anybody. It's just
Yeah, I know.
I don't really.
It's universally decided that I think the general consensus, other than Xbox fanboys, I think the general consensus is the game could have been a lot better.
Oh yeah, it definitely could have been a lot better, but I mean, again, that's the great thing about gaming is everybody has different likes and different tastes. And so
but that was the main comparison is like Bethesda being as big of a team as they are, it just kind of turned into a comparison because Larian is an indie studio, and it just blows my mind. That's just what the video turned into, is just essentially like how this needs to be a standard if this independent studio can put out, and granted they are a huge team still, but so is Bethesda, so is Activision, so is, all these other studios. It just turned into a big comparison basically, and how the standard needs to be, the bar needs to be lifted. If you're going to bring something to the table, don't give us the same shit that you gave us back in 2013.
And I can definitely see where you're coming from with that.
Basically move the industry forward, like and I'm not, and I go on to say that Starfield isn't a bad game. It just doesn't take any chances. It doesn't push anything forward. It just felt really safe and stale to me. Anyway,
Yeah, I can definitely see that point of view. I played it over the I'll jump into what I've been playing. I played it for a couple hours over the holiday weekend. I had a friend over. We were hanging out on Saturday a little bit. Quick shout to Diz. Yes, we're streaming the pod live now. That's something we decided to do. So, um welcome in, Diz, and quick shout to you, my biggest donor on the stream, helping me in a big
Yeah.
way. Fat Dono helped me get an expansion card and a backup chat link cable, so that'll come in real handy for the stream because I go
That's
through those
awesome.
really fast. Those chat link cables don't hold up super well. I'm a little bit rough on them as well, just because it's plugged in and at a weird angle, so the cords in there kind of get a little bent. I've gone through shit. This is my third one now that I'm on, so
PC Master Race.
I'm on to the fourth one. So I will, and I mean they're $15, so I mean I'm not super worried about it. Um, I have another one on the way though. Thanks again to Diz. But yeah, I played Starfield for a little bit. The FOV slider feels pretty nice. I do like the extra wide. It was a nice, it felt different in first person for sure. Um it's still running about the same on console. Not that it deters me from playing it at all. We all know how I feel about that game. I will never stop playing that game. So some minor things that I've noticed is that there's just some, minor smoothness fixes that they put in, and I read some of the patch notes, but a lot of it's for quests still that they're fixing. So, which
And ironically, like a lot of it was already fixed by the community, which is just a little bit upsetting. I feel like
yeah,
if they're gonna wait that long, like DLSS was day one by the
yep,
community. That took 1 day.
yep,
What the
it
fuck are they
cracked
doing over there?
that cracked me up because I figured something like that was going to happen for the PC players, but it
Well, why
definitely.
even add it at this point? Because if you go to Nexus Mods, it literally has hundreds of millions of downloads for DLSS because it was day one. Anyone on PC is modding the game 100%.
Oh yeah,
And
no.
it's just stupid because like console can't even use DLSS. They use
Yeah,
AMD's version of it. So maybe focus on
FSR.
that,
Yeah.
especially being a Microsoft game. Like
Hmm.
I understand that Microsoft doesn't give a fuck about Xbox console users anymore, but give me a fucking break, man. Like, I'm sorry to rant, but this is all still fresh on my mind. I've been literally editing like hours and hours and hours of
Is
video about how shitty Bethesda is, and I just don't have a lot of faith that Xbox is going to change things around, and it's just frustrating to see, honestly.
Joe, I love it.
I
I
mean,
love it.
again,
I think he's right though.
No, absolutely,
It's
we'll just
absolutely.
dog
have to
shit. The
wait and see.
community has done 100 times more for this game than Bethesda ever will. Like if
Mhm.
the community stopped right now, everything that they've done and let Bethesda continue, they wouldn't even catch up at this point. And it's just they need to pull their fucking heads out of their asses.
They never will, though. Look at how much money they made off
Anyway,
Starfield. Look at how much money
back
they
to what
made
I
off.
was playing. I know that we're all passionate about it, but back to what I was playing. So, the uh the minor updates haven't really changed too much, but the leaks that I've gotten for it that I've been reading, they're talking about the official mod support, the mod engine coming early 2024. So, um a lot of people
For
are
console,
expecting
you mean?
for like the official mod support for Starfield. Right now, the modding
There's
is
already a console built in though. Like
well,
it's really, really easy.
yeah, but Bethesda hasn't released their like official mod system like they have for Skyrim for PC yet on Starfield.
Talking about the Creation Club,
Yeah,
right?
well, that
Okay,
and the other
no one
stuff.
on PC considers that the official. Nexus mods is the official mods that everybody uses. When Creation Club, a lot of people,
Well, that's fine,
I
but
mean,
Bethesda still hasn't
honestly,
released the Creation Club, was my only point.
yeah. I'm just saying it's not the official way, and that's just another controversial topic. Is like that
Okay,
doesn't even need to exist at all.
that's fine. It can be controversial, but I was just saying they haven't released the official yet. That's all I was saying, Joe. They haven't released it for console, and they're expecting it to come in the first half
I'm not
of
trying to attack
2024.
you either, Joe. I don't want you to be defensive about anything I say about Starfield. I'm just
I'm not
stating
being
facts.
defensive. I'm just, you're bowling me over when I'm trying to say what I was trying to
It's a
say.
podcast, and I'm not trying to interrupt you. I'll be quiet.
Anyway, they're expecting the mod support for console and the first DLC to drop sometime in the first part of 2024. That's all I was trying to say, because I just was watching a video. There's a guy who still follows all the leaks and all the stuff for it that I watch
Mhm.
once a week every time he drops a new video on Starfield. And so they're expecting it sometime in the first, they're expecting it around the same time as what everybody is saying. So not sure when the mod support's going to come or the DLC, but we'll just have to wait and see. And then the other game I've been playing, as you can see in my gameplay there, is Modern Warfare 3. And I do have some minor leaks to talk about with that too. We'll jump into that here in a few. But I plan on finishing the Cyberpunk DLC. I did play like another 15. I've been only jumping in for like 30-minute increments just because I'll keep getting distracted by another game, or with the holidays we had a lot going on. I smoked a turkey on Friday, and I did that while I was on stream playing Call of Duty, and I did it in between matches and stuff. So it's just easy
That's
enough for me
crazy.
to jump off. Yeah, well, it's just easy for me to back out, like play like 3 or 4 matches, and it takes like an hour, back out, run outside for 2 minutes, baste the turkey in the smoker real quick, look at it, make sure the temperature is okay, and then come back inside. So I did that. But those are pretty much the only games that I've been playing. I'm still waiting for some more stuff for for Starfield. Sorry, I was fucking reading something on my phone here. Um I'd like to see some more updates for the console. They've been really focusing on the PC side and Quest stuff, but we'll just have to wait and see what happens. I'm excited for the mod support to hit.
Yeah, that'd be cool for on console. Like that's pretty nice.
Yeah, I mean it's
Good.
definitely limited compared to PC.
Yeah.
But I mean, just what they did for console for Skyrim and Fallout for the mods, I thought was really cool. You could add
Hmm.
quite a bit of cool stuff.
Yeah, and the
Yeah, I definitely
controversy
like
that I
that.
was talking about was the fact that they were initially the Creation Club was created just so Bethesda could profit off of people's mods, and this is
Yeah.
unheard of
Oh yeah,
in
no,
any other
No, no,
game.
no, no,
I
no.
That's
know
what
that.
I meant. That's what I meant.
I know that
And
Nexus is like
it
the
needs to be
PC
said
mod.
because Bethesda that they kind of suck.
I know that Nexus is like the PC mod place, but they did have like all the mods that I downloaded on Skyrim and Fallout were all free. Like I never paid for any mods on either of those games, and so there.
Initially
Nice.
when it launched, they weren't free.
Oh,
There was such an outcry
Oh, that's
initially
ass.
that they had to change
Yeah,
it. And
that's
they
oh,
still
see,
continued to charge and for assets and this and that, and like some of the creators defended it because they were profiting as well. But it's
Mm.
like a cardinal sin to make a mod on PC on Nexus and then link it to like a Patreon or some bullshit like that. You will get
Yeah.
roasted for that.
I know. I
Yeah,
hear a
that's
lot of
kind of
people. I
rough.
hear a lot of people have like tried to start doing that on
The
Nexus with certain
DLSS
mods.
guy did it. As a matter of fact, the guy that made the DLS mod for Starfield tried, and then he got absolutely roasted, and then it just got stolen from him, and someone re-uploaded it. Like it just doesn't fly on PC. It's
Yeah,
not
and
cool.
so we'll have to wait and see. I honestly hope they go the same route with Starfield and they don't charge for mods on console, but we'll just have to wait and see. Like either way, it is what it is. They'll get roasted one way or another. So
everyone's always gonna get roasted, dude. We all think
The
one
internet.
way or another.
I just
and
yeah,
then
I
you
just
gotta add in.
that's where I'm at. That's why I just really don't give a shit no more, because no one's ever
Yeah.
happy with anything. Like even if I
I'm happy with a lot of things.
well,
Like I
even if
play
I
the
hate the
I play the
game,
good ones.
even if I hate the game and I think it's trash, there's someone out there that's gonna like the game. And if I like the game, there's someone out there who thinks it's trash. It just is what it is. Gaming is subjective.
Yeah.
And it is subjective, but like that's not to say that we shouldn't hold people to a certain standard either.
Oh no,
It's not
Yeah, there
absolutely.
definitely needs to be
okay
a
to
better
just accept
system.
shit and like it's like when you go out to dinner, would you rather have a nice refined small portion that tastes the absolute best that it can, or would you rather stick your head in a fucking dumpster and have endless slop? I mean, that's the analogy that I like to make.
I mean,
Well, I guess that just depends on how hungry you are there, Joe.
And I'm not talking about just Starfield either. I'm just talking about in general. Would you rather have something refined that's nice and just took a lot of time, or just endless pails of slop? That's what it boils down to.
I and
Everything is kind of
I
half-assed
can see where you're
nowadays.
coming from, but at the same time, I would also argue that one person's trash is another person's treasure. Like some people just like
And
different things.
absolutely. And it's not to say that I don't like Starfield. Like there is fun to be had there, and I do give credit where it's due. But the fact is, a studio that big putting out something that lazy, no maps. I mean, I can't even be bothered to play that fucking game because I don't even know where anything is. It's so poorly designed. These things need to be addressed because I do it because I love it. I love the old Bethesda games, and they got a pass because they were moving the industry forward at one point. Skyrim had a shit ton of bugs, but that game pushed the industry so far forward that no one gave a fuck. It was such a new thing. But with Starfield, Starfield would have won Game of the Year 2013, not 2023, not 2022. And people that are surprised that it's not nominated, it's just like, what other games are you guys playing?
Oh
No,
no, I was never
you know,
surprised that it didn't get nominated. I didn't expect it from the beginning. After I played it for like a
I only
good
said
couple
it
I
hours,
just
that
feel
it
like
should have
some
been
things are
because I have an
important to be
outside
addressed, is
perspective.
all.
after a couple
Sorry to cut you off.
no, after a couple hours, I definitely was not expecting a Game of the Year nomination. But that is to say, again, like with the maps thing, I definitely was irritated that there was no maps, but now that I've put the
Or
time
just
into
like
it,
finding things like, how do I heal? Where do I get these
well, now
items?
that
Where are the vendors? Like all the mods that I installed were all quality of life things that should have just been in the game. And if it wasn't for the community, I wouldn't have given the game 2 hours,
see,
honestly.
and now
But,
that I've
but
put the
because of the
time in,
community, I did.
now that I put the time in, I know where everything is in the major cities at least. Like I know where to get healing stuff, and I've just and like the other game I compare it to is like it has a good map, but the game I don't use a map in anymore is Grand Theft Auto. When I play Grand Theft Auto online, I hardly use a map anymore. Like I'll do it sometimes if I'm going long distances to get through a city fast without taking a bunch of unnecessary turns, but for the most part, like where shops are and stuff, I know I can get there just because I played it so much. And I kind of did the same thing with Starfield. Is like when I got in there and I realized there wasn't a map, I forced myself for like an hour to walk around the city and was like, okay, if I start here, I know kind of where to go. And so, was it annoying? Yeah, but I definitely wish they would have added a map, but I figured it out on my own. There's a couple other games that I played where like I didn't like The Witcher's iteration of like there's a few games maps that I really and I'm always nervous about a game's map. Like I don't like Cyberpunk finally just changed their map up so that you can take an objective off and you can have no objectives on your screen.
Oh, nice. That's great.
Yes. Okay. And so, like, for me, that's important sometimes because I don't like to have an objective on my screen all the time. That's one thing I hated about playing through The Witcher. And so, like, I did kind of like not having, like, to having a like something on the screen in Skyrim and just or I mean in Starfield and force myself to explore because I will say
Hmm.
that game made me explore more than any other game just because of that. Just because
Yeah,
of
it's
that.
funny. Cyberpunk. the devs for that game, they actively look over Nexus mods, and within weeks, if there's like a quality of life specific mod that's added, they'll just add it into the game.
Yeah, and that I know about know about CD Projekt Red, which I really like that they're doing that with Cyberpunk, because that game deserves to have that stuff.
Absolutely, yeah, man, that game is fucking crazy with mods on. Let me tell you.
Yeah, no, that game is it again, like you say, we keep getting these half-ass games on launch. Cyberpunk's another great example. I'm really happy to see where Cyberpunk is now, but it sucks that it took 3 years to get there.
Yeah, man, it's crazy to think about how long it has been. Like I was thinking about it, and I was talking to my wife. I was like, didn't we like talk about buying that game for my nephew when he was super young, and he's like 18 now? I'm like, what the fuck is going? Where did the time go?
Yeah, it came out, and I think it came out 2020. I think is the drop in January in 2020. It released, if I remember correctly, and it just, what I didn't like about that was that it just, like, I can't believe they delayed it for 8 years, or for as long as they did on top of it. Like, that game was in development for like 8 years, and then it still came out in that, in that state. And it would be nice to see, people follow Baldur's Gates, and go that direction and start releasing full games. But who knows
Early
what.
access is such a great thing, and a lot of people, discredit it. But some of my favorite games of all time, like I played them years before they released, like uh, Cuphead, Hades, Baldur's Gate. Like I played all these games before anybody knew anything about them, and a lot of people give it a lot of shit, like, oh, it had a pre-release. Like, no, like when you play a game,
It
it's all
depends on the early.
circumstantial. Like,
It
yeah,
depends on the
it
early
depends.
access.
Like Hades, for instance, like the core gameplay was there, like the gameplay loop was there, but like a lot of the characters were like hollow shells and didn't have like animations, and they didn't have like coloring or just any design. They were just kind of like ghostly figures and things like that. Baldur's ran like shit, honestly, but it was early access and you got it for half the price and you got to play through the first act or whatever. But yeah, I think a lot of games should do it, because Larian is proof that an indie studio can fund something this huge, you know, and just give it the amount of time that it needs. It isn't like people are going to get FOMO, especially if you just let them play it and take their feedback and care, basically.
Yeah, I mean, I think that could work with that can work with and I also think it depends on the type of game. Personally, I feel like that could work for most games, but for online games, I feel like that's a little bit difficult. For like multiplayer games, they can still throw out early access in a sense, but it's hard to give you like a, I don't know, like in
I
my.
don't know. I have to disagree, because BattleBits is like a perfect example, and its success, it hasn't even technically launched yet, and it's been so successful just because it's such a passion product, and like people are looking for that specifically because in this genre specifically, the greed is so much worse than any other genre. Like you can still play RPGs and single player titles that aren't greedy because there isn't a cash shop, and so people want the old COD system. They want the gameplay, but they just don't want the cash shops and the season passes and all the bullshit. So I'd have to disagree there.
Well, and I guess I can see where you're coming from there. I just feel like, I don't know, with an online game, all the server issues, and I just feel like everybody wants different things out of a game, so it's everybody's like, whose advice do you take?
Yeah, and it's ever evolving, but like even Fortnite was in early access for the first 2 years that Battle Royale was a thing. Like remember every time you played back in the day, it was like a year after it had quote unquote launched as a Battle Royale, but the splash screen always said early access or beta or this
Took
or that.
forever.
But they were taking feedback, because I was an OG Fortnite. I played season one, like basically day three of Fortnite, and they
Yep.
listened. They changed a lot of things, and it's
And I like to see when games
I think
listen.
it's still just
Yeah.
another example of like early access being a great thing.
I just like I love when games listen, and I love seeing it, but I also get nervous because, like, an example that I can give, and Joe, I'm sure you remember seeing a little bit of this, is with Destiny 2. A lot of the changes that we got weren't coming from like the majority of the community. They were coming from content creators, like people who have a following on YouTube who are bitching about shit that they're mad about, and then that
Mhm.
shit gets changed, and that shit always irritates me. It's like, hey man, just because you got 100,000 people watching you on fucking YouTube doesn't mean you're the only fucking person who plays this game.
Right.
No, but
Yeah,
they're
I
the
think
ones
a lot of
bringing in that
people
extra
like
cash
in
flow.
Destiny, I think everyone kind of had their own problems with it. And like my problems kind of rooted from different things. It wasn't so much like the meta because I didn't play a lot of PvP and that's what a lot of content creators did. And
Yeah, and see, that's where
like for me it was different things like, just overall core issues and just, changes to the game that they were making and not in that aspect, but like more with the cash shop and
yeah.
cosmetics and this and that.
See, as a PvP player, I experienced, especially in Crucible, was
Mm.
the worst. Like the changes that were made were not changes that the whole community was asking for. Like it frustrated me a lot, and so that's why sometimes with this early access shit, like I love getting in early and playing the games early. Like it's a ton of fun for me, but at the same time, it's like a is it because I've heard this
I
point brought
think
up.
your experience with it is it's like COD is charging for early access, but really it's just a beta at full price. Like every other early
Yeah.
access game I've played is either free or
We'll see, and that's
very
the thing.
heavily discounted.
Well, that's the thing is like I played fucking like the one game that I got in on early access for on Xbox was PUBG, because that was in game preview for fucking like 2 years on Xbox, if I remember correctly. And like I totally love the idea of it, but at the same time, like I've heard people bring up the argument like, why are you guys making the players beta test your game?
Well, see, that's the whole controversy is like it gets abused and like a true beta, like beta is just a marketing term now for people to play a game early,
Yeah.
like most shooters
Mhm.
like Battlefield and this and that. A true beta is allowing people to play test the game for months at a time, taking that feedback, then changing the game, not just giving them access, maybe taking the feedback and making the changes later. It's just the whole term has been totally changed. Like back in 2015 or even 2017 when I was playing early access games, these games were actively being developed. You got them very heavily discounted or free, and then when they launched, if you got them for free in early access, because you supported and paid $5, you got it very heavily discounted or something. It's all very circumstantial, but like now it's just like beta just means early access and it means nothing. You're just
Yeah,
a guinea pig
because
that
they
plays
Yep.
that pays full price
they
and
did
gets
this
nothing.
they did the same thing with Paragon, if I remember correctly, on PlayStation. That game was in
It's
game
basically
preview.
every shooter, Battlefield, every game. It's like, oh, early
Par-
access or try the beta or even
well,
Diablo 4 was guilty of it.
Paragon was in game preview for like a year on PlayStation before they went full release. And so there's a couple games that I remember like having good experiences for, but until we change back to doing that all the time, I mean, it's just I'm
It's
starting to
still
get to where
happening.
you were.
There's still some really, really good games in early
Hmm.
access. It just depends on I don't know. It just depends on, what games you're looking for and what games you play regularly, I guess. But
Yeah,
there's a lot of gems on Steam, and there's
yeah,
there's actively always games in early access that always end up winning awards because of it.
yeah. See, and my thing is like, don't get me wrong, I enjoy my PC. I love having the PC, but I feel even if I were to upgrade it, I'm always going to find myself coming back to the simplicity of my console. I just am that person.
Yeah, and I totally
I'm
get it.
very
But like
similar.
honestly, PC has come so much further than like, it kind of gets a bad rep because of the stigma of how it used to be. But like for me, like if I want to play a game, I open Steam, I plug in my Xbox controller, and I play the game.
Oh
It's
yeah.
not it's not like it I get the plug and play. If you want to play on your couch and play couch co-op. Like I get, like I have a console too, but for me, like I don't like the argument that it's just like, oh, it's so fickle, PC gaming, and like, because there's honestly there's so many bad releases, whether you're on console or PC. Consoles are essentially PCs now. Like
Oh
they
yeah.
are built
Oh
on the
yeah.
x86 architecture. They use the same memory modules. It's all the same thing. So it's just the interface. And so if you want an easier interface, there's routes that you can go that aren't Windows. You can put a Linux build, and I know that gets a little bit more advanced, but there's Linux builds that are like for consoles. You can put Steam Deck UI on a PC if you want to.
Oh yeah.
I just love the versatility, and it's really not that hard. You know what I mean? It's you're just using a mouse and keyboard instead of a controller to download your
Oh
games. You know
yeah,
what I'm
no,
saying?
it's yeah, no, it's that, but like I said, I just the other thing is like I don't know, just having the profile, like I've had my profile on Xbox for so long. I have all those like games that I can play only on Xbox. It's one of those
That's
things that
not
I
true
stick with.
because like most of your games can be played on as an Xbox
Yeah,
player,
most
like
of them can,
you
yes.
you you can play like literally 99.9% of your games, probably 100% of them now if I had to guess.
I'd have
But
to look
I
and see
log in
which
with my
ones.
Xbox account and I play my Game Pass games on Xbox, and I switch between Steam and whatever, my friends are playing on at the time. It all
Yeah.
carries
Yeah,
over.
it carries over. Just like I said, I just for me it just is easier to stay there. Like I just like it that way.
I get it.
I'm the same. I would definitely prefer like console to PC, even though PC, yeah, is more universal and customizable. So you can make it simple for yourself, but
Just like
I'm
when I
always
was
a
streaming
console
especially, it
player.
was such a fucking nightmare, man.
Mhm.
Well, now that I've got everything set up, the only thing that's a nightmare is these chat link cables because the quality is shit on them. That's the only thing I have.
That's so bizarre because I'm still on my first 11 months later
Oh
and
yeah,
have my backup still.
I think it's just
Probably
because
not streaming as much.
I think I think it's just because of the way the angle of my cord sits on my controller. It's always kind of pulling down on it, kind of hard.
I was like kind of kinked.
I could
Yeah,
see that.
so it
I
kinks
had
the
a
Dang.
wires.
PlayStation 1 too. Yeah, I had a PlayStation version of that, and mine always went to shit too.
Yeah, and it's literally it like loses connection on like I have to like sit there and turn the fucking cord and like move it around before I get the connection back. And I know it's not my controller because every other headset I plug in and shit is just it works just fine. So it's always the chat link cables. So that's why I just ordered another one to have a backup because I know enough, and it won't be like immediately. This one will probably last me another couple 3 months, and then the kink in it is just gonna get bad, and it's gonna do that shit again. So that's usually what happens to it.
That makes more sense.
Yeah, so I mean, it console streaming has its downfalls for sure. Like
It sure does.
I definitely
Yeah.
I've looked at both options, and now that I have the PC and I have everything set up through a capture card and I have everything set, tearing it down is a pain in the ass, yeah, but getting in here and turning everything on, it's really simple and straightforward at this point. So
Yeah, I mean, once I had it set up, I just went for, I don't know, what do you call it? Maybe super high production. I had just rats nests of cables fucking everywhere, and I was investing so much money into being able to stream my console games. I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna put my money into my PC, so I don't need this rat's nest. I don't
yeah,
need to replace anything. I
it
can just play my games on one fucking thing and just it be here.
it would take down the amount of wires. So it
And capture cards are so fucking fickle. Like I went through two Elgatos, and granted, I was like when I streamed, I took a year off work and I was streaming 6 to 8 hour streams, 5 days a week. I was going hard, so I was using the fuck out of the equipment. But then, spending, 150 to 200 per capture card and new cables and
mm-hmm.
just all this shit that went into it. I was just like, you know what? Fuck it. I'll just learn how to use a mouse and keyboard. And I just haven't looked back since. I still use my controller. I'd be lying to say if I didn't use that. I use it a fuck ton because some games you just can't use a keyboard and mouse, and
Mm-hmm.
they don't recommend that you do. But it's just so versatile.
I definitely I'm still on my first capture card, but I've been wondering when it's finally gonna kaputs on me. It's still going pretty strong though. I don't move it very much, and it always stays in the same place. It's, uh, not it's sitting right in front of me, so I always got a good sight on it. So hopefully that lasts me, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see. If I get another capture card
Fingers
though,
crossed.
yeah, if I get another capture card though, I'm gonna get I was looking at capture cards. I was gonna get the HD 60X instead of the S Plus this time because
Dude,
the
that's what I have is the 60X.
yeah, the 60X allows 120 pass through. So if I were to ever, you know,
Dude, if you want to get the internal one, I will install it for you just so you can kind of avoid it sitting on top of, those external ones are fine. I started out with one of those and then I just got the PCI ones that you put inside the PC and
oh
they actually have way less latency so you can actually like play it on your OBS preview if you wanted to. There's so little delay or whatever, but yeah, it cuts down on a lot of the mess too.
yeah, I mean that's something to definitely consider. Like I've talked to you about, upgrading my PC is something I plan to do eventually, but it's not on the forefront right now. It's honestly like next on the list, but it's going to be such a slow process because I'm going to buy things slowly. And then the upgrade is going to be not like a serious upgrade. It's going to be pretty minimal. Like I want to be able to play a couple games on my PC, but not everything on there. So,
Word.
um, but leaks wise, I just want to talk about a couple Modern Warfare 3 leaks before we move on. So I don't for those who are playing Modern Warfare 3 on a normal basis, probably noticed that we had a new event start right after the COD endowment event that we just had. It's the Makarov Returns event. It started a little bit earlier than expected. It just has some stickers. I think there's a weapon charm in there and a camo at the end. It's anybody can access it. It's free access for everyone. You just got to get kills in multiplayer by doing it. Just play multiplayer and you'll progress through it. Um, and then some people diving into the files have pulled out some leaks for us. The holiday Codmas event leaked. It's got a full event, new themes for the maps, and it's supposed to theme out the zombies as well. Um, I'm sure everyone's going to be super thrilled to hear that there was leaks referencing a new boys event. This one's called The Boys vs. the Seven, and it will be for Warzone 3. But from what I was hearing, it sounds like there's going to be a whole separate game mode this time called the Boys mode, where you'll have those special power-ups. Yeah, the power-ups like we had in the Warzone season last time. I could pass on that. So I hope they keep that game mode separate. The super jumps
Yeah, I
got
definitely
so
hope it's
annoying.
separate.
The super jumps got so annoying, dude. You're like fighting a squad and all of a sudden someone just drops in on you from a completely
Yeah,
different squad from the super jump. It was
yeah.
rough.
As if the zip lines don't provide enough of that.
Yeah.
Here's a superpower to jump across the map.
For Walking Dead fans, leaks also reference a Walking Dead crossover event for zombies. So that could be really interesting, actually.
That's kind of cool.
The more I play zombies, the more I'm personally enjoying it. I was playing the other day when Kyle hit me up to play, and I had to back out and I lost some stuff, unfortunately. I was a little sad about, but I was already down. I was by myself. I was trying to take on one of those zombie strongholds by myself without a gas mask like a dumbass. I kept doing little dips in to take out a couple of those little pus sacks on the wall, and then I'd run out again and I got hit on my way out.
Damn.
The dope thing is you can like bleed out and then call for help, and then if you go into the game chat, and it's happened for me a few times, you go into game chat and put your square, like you look at the map and it gives you numbers, and I always put my square number in chat and be like, please help,
Oh,
blah
nice.
blah blah, and someone usually will run over and like pick you up and then take off again. It's pretty sick. That's happened to me a
Nice.
few
I actually helped
times.
a dude up. I was playing solo and I was near a dude who was down, and I saw the call for help, and I was like, "Fuck yeah, I'll pick you up."
Yeah, dude. Yeah, see, and
Just
that
ran over there and scooped him up, and then we, cleared the area so we could shield and get some supplies.
I've been really enjoying about the new zombies, just because the people in there seem a lot nice. Like, I've only had one guy come over and like teabag my dead body for a couple seconds, and then he picked me up. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was like everybody's like pretty friendly in zombies. So
That's pretty funny.
I've been actually
It's
happy
nice
about
to
that.
hear that. It is nice to hear that, considering they mocked it off of the DMZ model, and
Yeah.
I know, dude, the DMZ model went so fucking toxic. Like, Chowder, I know you've talked about it, how there's been a couple of times where you're like, hey guys, I'm just passing through, want to get my shit, let's trade.
Yeah.
Let me tell you that's a rarity when it comes to the DMZ model. The more often than what happens is you had squads assimilating into 6-man squads or even 4 or 5-man squads, and then they were
Yep.
just hunting.
Yep.
So they'd see you, they just come in, murk, steal your shit, and be like, all right, fuck you.
Yep. No, it
Yep.
turned into
And,
that pretty
like-
quick. It turned into
Like,
that
that is-
pretty quick.
That was when I really took my turn away from DMZ, went back to Warzone, and then because my cousin plays DMZ, like he loves that survival shooter kind of crossover that they did with the DMZ. So I'll jump in and play with him, but I end up just running support. Like I run my submachine gun and my fucking M4, and I'm just like, all right, let's do what you guys want to do. And if people roll up on me, I just fucking murder them. I'm just like, all right, fuck you, dude. Like, I will play cool until you take that first shot. And then after that, it's Warzone for me. Like,
Yeah.
so
The DMZ was like, I like how I call it Tarkov Light. That's what I call it, Tarkov
Basically.
Light. Yeah. That's what I call it.
it really is.
have-
It really is.
I have Tarkov, and I played it a little bit on my PC. That game is just too much for me, man. Like, listen, I don't want to have to click my mouse to put bullets into my magazine. I don't want to have to put each bullet into my magazine. Like, that gets
I do that.
ridiculous.
I do that
Tedious
in
as
real
fuck.
life.
Yeah,
I
like
do that in real life.
exactly. It gets tedious as shit. Like, I understand the appeal of Tarkov, and I love watching the Tarkov clips of people like fully kitted out and doing their funny ratty shit. Like, there's this one guy I follow who will he finds ways to get up on top of shit, and he sits like in weird spots, and he'll just wait for like someone to come along, shoot them, and leave their dead body there and use it as bait, and just like get 6 or 7 kills just sitting in this one spot. And I find it funny, but at the same time, like, after watching that video that Joe shared, like, Tarkov is just all the things together. It's just too much for me. I have a couple friends who are diehards who play that game every day, and I much respect to them because that game is too much for me.
Yeah.
I've seen people
You know,
lose so much shit, and I'm just like, I don't know how you put up with that. Like, it's the same thing with Ark. Like, the idea of Ark, and I like the idea of how you can be on a solo server, and like that has kind of made me want to like play the game, because you can like be on your own custom solo server and not have people like raiding your shit. But like, people who play like hardcore Ark like on normal servers, like, I just don't understand. Like, are you just a glutton for punishment? You just love watching fucking people just show up and destroy your shit while you're gone. Like, I just never understood that. Like, I have a homie who used to play that game all the time, and I'd be over at his house. He's like, fuck. He'd get online. He's like, fuck. I'm like, what? He's like, someone raided my base, and it's all destroyed, and all this shit's gone. And I'm like, well, fuck,
so
dude.
annoying.
You just spent 8 hours yesterday getting all that stuff together, and it's all gone.
That's crazy.
Yeah, no, fuck that. Fuck that.
Like,
I joined my first team on zombies this weekend. That shit was cool.
Nice.
that is the other
Yeah.
thing I like, is if you're solo, you can run up and you can hit the button
Yeah.
and join random people.
It was so nice because I was in a battle and I couldn't do it by myself, so I dipped out and then ran into these guys, and then we started doing stuff that they were trying to do, and then I ended up finding this gold. Oh fuck, I can't remember the name, but you have 2 options. You can hold L2, like your aim down sight button, and it'll like redeploy for you. It shoots you up into the air, or you can hold R2, the shoot button, and it just like projects this beam and it just destroys everything in front of it.
Oh, the
It was the
Scorcher?
craziest shit.
Is it the Scorcher?
Yes, that one, the Scorcher. Yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude! You found one of the wonder
It was so
weapons,
cool.
dude. Yeah, that was the first one
Hell
I found. I was that, and then I got really lucky in a match after that, and ended up finding the Wonder Waffa, and that was hella
Oh,
sick.
nice.
Yeah, I had the Wonder
I
Waffa.
got the ray gun out of a
Oh.
mystery box, but I
Okay.
went to exfil thinking I could like keep it. Nope.
Well, that's the thing though, is I've been meaning to do this with a couple of you guys because I want to try to do it with the homies.
Yes.
I seen a TikTok where apparently there is a thing you can do to extract with the ray gun schematic. And so you
Ooh,
can
okay, we need to do that.
Yeah, so you can deploy in with a ray gun schematic every time and essentially build yourself a ray gun.
Hell yeah. I've been digging the MTZ because it's got like 50 rounds, but I definitely would love that.
Okay. Let me ask you this: they brought the ray gun. Did they bring back the Mark II?
I don't know
No,
what that is.
not that I've seen. But
Damn it!
the cool thing is we don't know what they're gonna add to zombies because I feel like they're gonna be adding stuff. Like if they got this crossover event planned, who knows what they're gonna put in? They got a whole. There's like I've seen. They're not confirmed, but I've seen the list. There's like fucking I think it's like 5 or 6 new weapons coming with the first season. So who knows what they're gonna add for zombies? You know what I mean? Like I feel like they could put in some good shit for that. So we'll just have to wait and see.
I just know, like I love the ray gun in Black Ops 1, and then when they dropped the Mark II in Black Ops 2, it was a step up, at least for me, right?
Mhm.
Because now I didn't have blowback. I didn't have like I could fire multiple shots instead the 3-round shot, and then once you pack a punch, dude, it almost went full auto. So I don't know. I preferred the Mark II over the original ray gun, but I know that was kind of a controversial thought when it came out. A lot of people were still kind of on the ray gun's dick at that point. So
Yeah, the ray gun is I haven't gotten it yet, but I mean, looks like the good old ray gun. So that's what's
Mhm.
important to me.
and I mean, not to say that was a bad gun. Dude. That thing was a crowd clearer, and I fucking loved it. But when I got into higher levels on the old round based zombies, it always seemed like I was running real close, taking a little bit of damage just to try and group them up. And then if I used the regular ray gun, then I was hitting myself with it too. So it fit better with my play style.
Oh,
Mhm.
definitely. The ray gun is definitely my favorite fucking zombies gun. But I don't know. I'm pretty excited to see where they take it. I am disappointed though. I did see your post about it. I'm a little disappointed, but at the same time, I'm not that they're taking Al Mazrah out of the rotation. I'm a little shitty that they're leaving Vondel, but whatever.
My thing is just like we have all these options for maps. Why aren't we fucking using them?
Yeah, they could just leave them in.
Right.
They could just leave them in and give us, multiple
Like I
maps to
get
choose
it's
from.
day one launch, get people to play the new map, but like, why aren't there more options? It's just like, why are we still here?
Yeah.
Like I don't know, make the maps separate in download files so you don't have to have all of them. You know, I don't know. There's a way around this, and they're just not doing it. It's pissing me off. I really want to play Verdansk. I want Almanzar to be in rotation. I could care less about Caldera, but like most of the maps have been fun. I just why aren't we using them?
Yeah, I mean, we'll just who knows? There's a bunch of rumors saying that they're supposed to bring back fucking uh the map from the first one.
Oh, Verdansk for like a LTM or something
Yeah,
like
they're
that.
supposed to bring Verdansk back for a little bit. So, yeah. We'll have to see what happens.
Big facts.
Yeah, I'm definitely a little bit curious as to see what they do with Warzone in the coming months, just because and I'm like we talked about a little bit. I know we talked about it when we were playing the other day on stream, but if they fucking bring back fucking Krampus, dude. If they
if they do
That's
it, it just needs to not crash people's games, you know?
crash people's games, but like just leave Krampus
Ridiculous.
out, dude. I don't want to have to worry about this invincible asshole running around the map when I'm trying to fight a squad. Like I'm not trying to get third partied by the fucking Hulk, okay?
Yeah, it is a bit crazy.
Yeah, when you're in the middle of a fight and all of a sudden you look over just in time to see that dude running up the stairs at you or something, dude, it's like
You hear his chimes coming.
yeah, get the fuck out. No, I definitely do not like Krampus, but we'll have to see what they do. I hope they do something different. Like I hope they don't just bring back Krampus, but just a rewash, but
Yeah.
But I think that's all the game stuff I got. I mean, those are really the only two things I've been following is Starfield and Modern Warfare because that's the only two games I mean, I'm trying to finish that Cyberpunk DLC, but that's what I watch YouTube videos about mostly. So
The only thing that I really found was basically confirmed that we had GTA 5 DLC and Bully 2 sequel, and it was basically just scrapped because GTA Online makes so much money.
I mean,
I can see it.
another one bites
Yeah.
the dust.
I mean, yeah, it's really
we kind of been
unfortunate.
living that way for 10 years on GTA. So
Yeah, the online was the best and worst thing
you
that happened to Rockstar.
Are you still there, Joe?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I was just
Okay,
making
not
sure. I was doing like a minor sound
Getting
check.
no more audio issues.
Oh, you guys are just talking about COD. I don't really have anything to say about it other than, the usual negative Nancy shit. So I'm just trying to hold back.
I mean, it's still shit. I'm playing it.
Yeah. There's fun to be had there. I'm not going to take away from your guys' fun.
Yeah, I
But
definitely
it
still
is
got
dog shit.
tons of
Yeah,
complaints.
it's crap.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. Wah wah wah.
it's so true, though. It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Okay.
Anyway,
movie wise,
Eminem. Oh yeah, go for it.
or I guess actually that is the one other game thing we can talk about real quick. Is the upcoming
The new Fortnite event.
Yeah, the upcoming Eminem Fortnite event.
Yes, I am going to be.
What's
doing
so
that
funny,
more with
man?
my daughter.
Isn't that December 2nd they're doing that?
I think so. Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
a few days before
Apparently
the new season of COD.
There's a trend going around. I'm seeing it all over the social medias, Facebook Reels, Instagram Reels, the TikToks. I'm seeing it everywhere. Fortnite, all the Fortnite players, the community members are planning like a gigantic ceasefire all day, December 2nd, just to run around and enjoy the OG map as much as they can before it apparently gets destroyed. So if you're gonna play Fortnite that day, everyone's apparently planning a ceasefire. Cool. No kills.
You gotta be cool.
Wait. People are planning to not kill each other in Fortnite? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's like everyone's trying to plan like this big December 2nd all day event where no one wants to kill, like no kills, everyone just runs around and enjoys the map and fucks around.
You know how many more people are just actively going to join in the game because of that and just fucking ruin it for people?
That's what's going around. That's what's going around on the social medias. I'm just here telling you what I'm hearing.
Let me tell you what my thought was. Like, all right, here we go.
It's a fucking BR game.
For real.
100 people in the final zone.
Yeah, there's
millions of people that play it. There's no way. No one will even notice. It's just gonna, they're gonna be sadly let down, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's just
a lot of sad feelings.
It's just a trend I've been seeing on the social medias. So it's been cracking me up a little. It made me laugh when I first seen it. I was like, dude, I hear some fucking guy my age right now cackling to himself at work, just like, oh, that's gonna be a good day.
Well, it's just silly. Like what do they mean? Like, oh, let's enjoy it for one day with a ceasefire. Like, isn't the point of enjoying Fortnite is fucking shooting people? What do they mean? What do they mean? Like,
everybody
that
wants
doesn't
to
sound like fun at all.
Everybody wants to run around, goof off on the golf carts. There's
Fucking
a few
hold
people.
hands and have a picnic in Fortnite? Like, what do you mean?
I mean, listen, I have to say, one of the coolest things I've done in Fortnite was me and Ken loaded into the lobby during the Dragon Ball Z event and hung out on their fake-ass ship to watch an episode of Dragon Ball Z on their big screen inside Fortnite. I thought that was sick as fuck. But that's
Yeah,
about
for
the...
sure.
That's... You know, that like shit like that, that's understandable because it's like a mode meant for that. Like there's no weapons. Like everybody loads in to watch those episodes. You know what I mean? Like
for sure.
I've been part of those early events, and man, I've seen people get dunked on during events, and it's fucked up.
Yeah, so I'm honestly kind of wanting to just play Fortnite just to see if people are really trying to ceasefire and not shoot. You know what
Motherfucker,
I mean?
I'm gonna blast them. I'm gonna be like, all right, free kills. Thanks, guys.
I'm gonna
Right,
look.
yeah.
I'm gonna.
Like,
I
all
just.
right, here we
I
go.
want to see. I just want to see if they're actually gonna try it.
It ain't gonna be
I'm sure
me.
there will be some, but they're just gonna be sadly let down.
Yeah.
You're gonna be spending a lot of time in the lobby reloading in if they give that a shot.
Yeah, during an event, yeah, good luck.
I'm gonna.
No kidding.
I wanna.
No shit.
I'm gonna pull it up on the.
See-
I'm gonna pull it up on the Googs real quick to make sure that this is actually a thing that I was hearing. Because I know I've seen it.
Better safe than
Okay.
sorry. If you got a squad, man, get some good guns to loot up before you trust someone.
Dude, I don't trust anyone. So yeah.
That's crazy.
Oh,
No,
top.
Speaking of cosmetics, did you guys see the new Destiny 2 leak? Well, I won't say new. It's about a week old. 4 days
It's
old.
dead to me now. I'm sorry, man.
No, that's fine. I was scrolling IGN this morning just trying to get caught up and noticed, dude. Apparently, Bungie is partnering up with CD Projekt Red to bring in the Witcher cosmetics.
Yep, I
to
seen that and I
Destiny 2.
laughed so hard. I commented on Destiny's Facebook page. I was like, "So you're telling
Too
me
little, too
you can
late."
continuously come up with paid cosmetics from other fucking franchises, but you cannot come up with your own seasonal armor. You complain about it in a post that you guys are having a hard time coming up with your own seasonal armor. Kiss my ass."
Big time. Big
They just have a hard time justifying free shit for the community and giving back a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, so
I saw that and was like, "You're fucking kidding me."
okay, so
Let it die, let it burn.
okay, so here's the article. Here's the article that I found. Now that the Big Bang Live event is here, Season OG will come to a close, bringing it with it new Chapter 5 Island and a live performance by rap legend Eminem. Even though there's a lot of buzz about it, the internet can't seem to wrap its head around a peculiar request made by Fortnite players. For a live service battle royale game like Fortnite, the social media is now calling for a ceasefire in the game on December 2nd, which is out of the ordinary as they come. Here's the reason behind this phenomenon and the actions taken by others. What is it? Okay, so players are gathering to observe the final day of the season by walking around the OG island in peace and harmony while observing a ceasefire. Since this comes off as a peaceful gesture, several players had their own thoughts to pitch on the same. One fan said, "Make no mistake, this will be the bloodiest day in Fortnite history."
Yeah, seriously.
Blood will be spilled.
It just feels like a way to just like make people be more aggressive. They're like, oh, hey, let's put this out there and like just make people go ape shit.
Another
I'll drop
comment.
my first 30.
Another comment.
Yeah, my first 30 bomb. Yeah.
Another commented, "Nah, I'll respect the map by wiping the entire lobby."
Yeah.
I'll
Anyone
enjoy
that
it
waves or
myself.
tries to hug me, dude, I'm like, nah, blast their ass.
Yeah,
Pump
big
shoddy,
time.
see ya.
Yep, for real.
Yeah, double pump their asses.
All right.
Oh man.
Oh, I can't believe
That's
this, dude.
honestly, I think that actually is the last big game thing that I have to really
I think
talk
so.
about. Yeah, was the Fortnite thing, because I do remember seeing that now. I just haven't played Fortnite in a minute because
We should. Let's all load up into that motherfucker, dude. I'm down.
I don't know.
Well, second,
Come
I
on.
could be done.
I don't know if Kyle. I don't know if you're gonna convince Kyle to do it.
Come on, Kyle.
I might for the second. I might.
For the camaraderie, bro. It'll be
It's
good content.
a Saturday. I have a date at the movies for Godzilla -1, and then I'll be streaming the rest of the day on the second. So I already got that day pretty much planned. So
Okay,
we could do
Godzilla
Fortnite.
-1. Okay. Well,
I'm down, dude. I'll make time for it if you guys want to load into Fortnite. That's like the one shooter I still kind of play every now and then. So
December 2nd,
Cool.
I'd be
Yeah.
down, especially to be there for the Eminem concert. I want to see that. So, what
Dude,
day?
I am.
What day is that though?
What?
I hope it's not a.
I think Disney just said it's a Sunday. I'm pretty sure
Ooh,
it's
it's
a
a
Saturday.
Saturday. Ooh, thank God it's a
Yeah.
Saturday.
Saturday.
I'm glad they
Yeah,
did
it's a
that shit
Saturday.
on a Saturday because I will be home
Like,
and I will be available.
I already pre-ordered my ticket. I know it's a Saturday.
I fucking won't be.
December 2nd is a Saturday. Oh yeah, today's Sunday. Yeah, it is. The but that's you
Oh,
talking about movie tickets is a great way for me to segment into asking you how you liked Napoleon.
Oh,
So, okay, I'm not a like history buff, so I don't know what was accurate or inaccurate. I don't remember much from school, so but I thought the movie was really well done, kind of on par with like Oppenheimer.
All right.
Special effects were phenomenal. Storytelling was great. Um, Acting was pretty awesome. I do like the romance side of things in that movie with Joaquin Phoenix and can't remember the actress's name, but she plays Josephine, his wife,
Okay.
in that movie. I don't know, really good. Like I said, special effects were amazing. The action sequences were fucking awesome. I think there's four or five battles you see, and like pretty in depth too. So you get to see like his strategy behind it, the
Okay.
moves he makes as he makes them. So really cool. Different side of, I guess, what that.
dude.
What?
I was just gonna say, as a history buff, I need to see that and Oppenheimer to see the historical, because I mean I never go into a historical movie knowing that it's gonna be
Verbatim, yeah.
historical. Yeah, because I know Hollywood loves to take their
Mhm.
fucking little pretty fingers and add the viewership to it. So
yeah, I love when they add like based on a true story, but it's still like not even close. It's just like one little shred of the true
Yeah.
story.
it's like
I hate that.
Exactly.
yeah,
Yeah.
dude,
Yeah.
it's like the last one I think that I saw that was 95% historically accurate. I mean, you're talking Spielberg with fucking Schindler's List. And that's because it's all
Oh yeah.
documented in a book.
Mhm.
I thought that Hacksaw Ridge was fairly accurate from what I read.
It was fairly
Yeah,
accurate.
yeah,
I
we
will
actually have
say
that movie.
And
I'll
I
give you
will
guys
say
access to my Plex server if you want it. Actually, I just got it set
I
back up. I have all these movies, but I
you
just
got
never
it set.
watched them.
You got it set back up. I think I still have. I
Yeah,
think I still have access
I
to it.
I will
yeah.
say this about Hacksaw Ridge. Um the final injury that knocks Desmond Dawes out that they depicted there at the end, the actual injury that was sustained on Okinawa was much worse.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
he
Mm.
got his ass blown the fuck up, basically, like
Yeah.
shattered legs, arms. But Clint
Damn.
Eastwood came out and was like, after the epicness of this movie, I felt that was too superhero, so we changed it and made it a little nicer.
And like that
He's
was
such a
the.
great
He's like,
director.
serious?
And honestly, yeah, Clint Eastwood is honestly a great. I love
Oh,
his movies. I really do.
Yeah.
But I thought Hacksaw Ridge was a phenomenal movie. That's one of my
oh
favorite.
no,
That's one of my favorite
absolutely,
history movies. I mean,
absolutely.
I'll have to revisit that one. It's been a while.
it's
Dude,
really good.
another one from Clint Eastwood was actually The Pair, dude. Flags of Our Fathers partnered up with Letters from Iwo Jima.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
Dude, so Flags of Our Fathers is based on Sergeant John Bradley's um, memoirs, and he was the medic. And then Letters of Iwo Jima were actually, so as the Japanese were getting pushed, they buried letters home. Like everyone wrote letters home, basically saying like, "I'm sorry, I have failed," before they all blew themselves up. And then the last guy standing kind of buried them, and
Hmm.
they found those letters. So
Wow.
they literally, if I remember correctly, they filmed both movies at the same time.
Oh,
Okay.
geez.
And so you got both perspectives. And dude, even
That's kind of cool.
like Letters from Iwo Jima was fucking amazing to see the Japanese perspective from that battle. Because I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, they called it in, what was it, Wind Talkers
Mm-hmm.
with Nicolas Cage and Adam Beach.
Mm-hmm.
They fucking called it where he's like, dude, check it. In 50 years, we're gonna be sitting around with the Japs shooting the shit and drinking sake, and it's true.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
know, we were engaged in a conflict, and shit happens. But to see the other side of like their perspective, it was just like the 70s. In the 70s, they came out with the movie Tora Tora Tora, which was the Japanese side of the Battle of Midway. Kind of came out the same time as that piece of shit fucking Midway movie that came out in the 70s as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I always love seeing the ones that give that other perspective, because we're so used to just seeing our perspective on everything, and it's
Yeah.
what was going on the other side. I
Mm-hmm.
love seeing that, because the only way to understand what really happened during that war, other than one man being the result of 60 million deaths, is to see what the other side was thinking.
There was a small narrative after Oppenheimer came out about why isn't there a take on what happened to after Hiroshima. And it's like, that's not what Oppenheimer's about. It's about Oppenheimer,
Yeah, the movie is all about the guy
who designed it and had to
yeah,
live with that.
yeah, and I mean, like I said, I haven't seen Oppenheimer,
I
but
haven't seen it, but is that the same guy that he designed the bomb, right? That's the
yeah,
guy.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
he's
pretty
the
sure
guy.
his wife was also a scientist and she killed herself because of that. Is that right?
I'm trying to remember the post credits. I think she did pass, but I don't remember what from.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else, but somebody was a scientist that developed something like the nuclear bomb or something like that, and he was married to another scientist that totally disagreed with it, and it caused her so much grief that she ended up killing herself because
I
of it.
mean,
I don't know if it's the same guy or not.
It could be
I
someone else's wife.
100%.
There was a huge team that was a
There,
part of
yeah,
that. So
there is, but I could 100% could see it, especially once you look at what they did with the atomic bomb, and then now Oppenheimer, if I'm correct, like yeah, he had his hands in the big boy and fat man drops on Nagasaki and Hiroshima, but really he was the one that kind of pioneered the fission rather than fusion, which is where we got the hydrogen bombs, and we were able to start blowing like the Bikini Atoll out of the water basically, and like changing the environment around the world,
That's
just so we could show the Soviet Union, hey, look what we can do, and then they dropped the biggest one ever with the Tsar Bomba, and like, let's just play fucking chess here, because that's what we're doing.
right.
We're minutes to midnight, and we've been this way for decades.
dude,
Yeah.
dude. That
Like the
that
Cold War was 100%. I've got the balls to you. Like, let me push my button. Come on.
the
I definitely if I had to they're both based on true stories, but I
Mhm.
think I preferred Oppenheimer more. Despite Napoleon having way more action, that's not the only thing I'm driven to with movies. I just feel like that one moment you're waiting for was so incredible. And then just the aftermath of what happened, and then
Right.
now he's being ridiculed by the U.S. government by something they wanted, and it's
I mean,
just crazy. I loved that movie.
that's what they do. That's what they'll do.
Yeah.
They'll call for it and then they'll ridicule, like, oh, we didn't do it. It's just like in all honesty, look at the Iran Contra affair back in the 80s. Like, the government sanctioned it and then they hung one guy out to dry. Like, oh
Hmm.
yeah, it was all him. Fuck you. No, it wasn't. You guys told him to do it.
Exactly. Yeah.
He's a fucking colonel. He's not going to do anything until his general tells him to. What the fuck are you doing? Like,
Yeah. Either way, though, I definitely suggest Napoleon to anyone who's
oh,
a movie buff, a history
mm,
buff. It's phenomenal.
Yeah,
oh, I've been,
I plan on watching Napoleon, and then eventually I plan on watching Oppenheimer. We still haven't watched that yet.
If you have,
I've seen the last
go for it.
clip. I've seen the last scene of Oppenheimer. I feel like it's the last scene where he's talking to Einstein. He's talking to Einstein
Hmm.
and the grass outside, and he's like, "What have we done?" Pretty much. And
Yep.
I was like,
I
yeah,
mean,
that's powerful. Like, yeah, because I
It
could.
sure is.
You can't.
That scene says it all.
I can't even imagine like from being the guy who created it to I can't even imagine what the guy who was flying the plane felt when he fucking they dropped that bomb
Yep.
on those people. Like Jesus criminy, you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's a
yeah,
really emotional and impactful movie. Like, I'm pretty sure I cried like twice during it. It's intense.
Yeah, I definitely wanna. I definitely plan on watching it. That the guy who plays Oppenheimer, I forget the
Cillian
Killian Murphy.
yeah, he's such a great actor. I'm a
Yeah.
Big.
huge fan of Peaky Blinders, and his character in Peaky Blinders is phenomenal. Everything he's been in, he's such
He's-
a great actor. Him playing the
He's- yeah.
Scarecrow and Batman,
Yep.
like he's
Yeah.
so
Dr.
good.
Crane, that was a great portrayal of Crane.
Yeah.
in fucking
Mhm.
Batman.
You know,
I
that,
Yeah,
fucking
for being
love
like the realistic side of stuff, like I was in love with the Scarecrow's character, and Killian Murphy is just a phenomenal actor. So
Oh, big time.
easy sell.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like I said, it's just been only recently have I been getting back into the movies. I'm trying to get it to where we're watching a movie a night, me and the wife, but we also have been trying to play catch up on rewatching all the Harry Potters. So
yeah, it's
Oh,
that
nice.
time of
We
year.
just did that.
Yeah, I
That
probably
time.
do that once a year at least.
oh
Yeah,
dude,
we probably do it a few more. Emily's a huge Harry Potter fan, so we do it
Oh,
for like
yeah.
Halloween, Christmas, like her birthday.
that's just it. I just watched all 8 movies like 6 months ago.
Oh wow.
And then I was like, you know what? Hey babe, let's do it. Like let's check it. And fucking so now I finally got her going, and we're on to the 5th movie. That's all I can that's as far as we've been able to get it. But it's just like the first night we watched the first and the second movie because it's a grand total of like 4 hours. And then after that, the movies with the HBO Max ads, because I don't pay for HBO. It's like I watch a 2.5 hour movie, and it takes me 3.5 hours to complete it. Like, oh fuck.
Yeah, definitely time consumers.
Yeah, big time, big time. But again, growing up with the books and owning them, I love the way they did. I mean, I know that movies will never match the books, just as books will never match the movies,
Yeah,
right? But they did a very, very good job in in portraying the main points of the book to get the movie out. Otherwise, we got a 5 hour movie for every book.
right.
Like,
The only
If
time
only
I
we
ever
would
get
give
to read
them.
now is on the shitter, I think. I don't get a whole lot of time to read books anymore.
that's where I'm at. That's exactly where I'm at. I started
A lot of people do the
audiobooking.
audiobooks, but that just doesn't stick with me. Like I can't be like doing a task and like trying to listen to something at the same time. It just doesn't sink in like reading a book does.
I'm actually
No,
Yeah,
I
I'm the same way.
I'm
I
actually-
definitely just listen to music all day at work, and like we have Audible, but like I can't listen to a book and do my job. It's too hard.
Yeah,
I-
yeah, exactly.
I'm glad
I
you
just listen
said
to
something
music.
about
And like
that.
actually let it sink in, you know.
I'm glad you said
Mhm.
something about audiobooks, because that reminds me, I just want to clarify. Spotify did a little sneaky, okay, with their
Mhm.
premium and their audiobook deal. You see, you do get premium with Spotify Premium, you do get some free audiobooks that you can listen to, but you only get 16 hours of listening time per pay period. So keep that in
Wow.
mind. Yeah, keep that in mind. I was a little disappointed. And then if you want more listening time, it's $12.99 for 10
Ew,
more
gross.
hours.
Just go,
Spotify is a scam, bro.
Dude,
yeah, that's a
Spotify.
scam. Like we had it through Kindle, and it's like $5 a month for like basically unlimited books back when we had
Yeah.
it. It was a really good deal. I
Yep.
would go
Oh,
that
I
route.
loved it.
Yep.
I loved it.
If
I loved it
I
back on
ju-
the Kindle.
If you're looking for an audiobook place, Spotify is not the place. The only reason I've been listening to a book on Spotify is because I found that, like I mentioned I think it was last episode, maybe the episode before last, that new book I've been listening to, Murtagh, is on Spotify Premium, and so my bill date's about to come up, and I can finish the book when it comes up. So that's why I'm just waiting to finish it
And
there,
that's-
because it's
and
included.
that would
I don't even think I have
did.
Spotify anymore, if I'm being honest.
Yeah,
I actually canceled a lot of subscriptions, but I have like it was between YouTube Music and Spotify, and it's not. I didn't choose YouTube because it's better, but like YouTube Premium also comes with ad-free experience on just regular YouTube. So I'm like, well, fuck it, I'm just gonna drop Spotify and keep using
Same.
YouTube.
I
See,
pay.
and the only reason I pay for the family premium, so me and my wife share an account, and then we each have our own profiles on Spotify. And the only reason I kept that is because you're talking like on my Spotify 10 years worth of building playlists, and
Yeah, that's kind of
Well,
where I was at too. I did
know,
take the
whereas,
time to
like-
transfer it, and that was a big pain in the ass.
right. Whereas like YouTube, I have a hard time watching watching videos, so I never really got sucked into the YouTube side of everything. So like Chowder, I know you added me to that, but and like I use the shit out of it when I'm checking shit out, but I'm not on YouTube near as much.
Well,
Plus,
the
like
best thing
with my
about
work and everything like that,
the
like I love kicking on podcasts, and then that's what I just let it drown in.
Well, that's the best thing
Mhm.
about the
So
YouTube Premium, and the reason why I still pay for it and Spotify is because there are certain podcasts, and most of my playlists are on Spotify as well. I'm in the same boat. That's why I keep paying for Spotify. Um,
right,
and also, secondly, with the YouTube Premium, I pay for that because of background listening. Because with
yeah,
YouTube Premium, you can just lock your phone. So it's like using Spotify for me sometimes, because there is some podcasts that I still listen to just on YouTube, and I'll lock my
right,
shit that way and listen to it. But I pay for both just because I do use Spotify every day still. Like, it's open on my computer
right,
right now. Like, I just
Yeah.
oh,
I'm so
absolutely,
frequently on it. And
absolutely,
Mhm.
I used to be the guy who used to pay for Pandora back in the day. Like, I used to pay for Pandora for ad-free radio, like internet radio essentially.
oh, I see. I did
Wow.
that for like 2 months.
Yeah, and then cuz I didn't I never
I love Pandora. It was awesome.
yeah, I enjoy Pandora for the sense of just like, typing in an artist and it'll play music like that, and just you can let it go. But I do like Spotify, and I eventually switched over to Spotify because it kind of does the same thing, but I can also save all my albums, and it alerts me when new stuff comes out. I have it set up that way, so I just my
Yeah,
Spotify.
it's really nice on it's really nice on YouTube Music, not the
Hmm.
YouTube app, but the YouTube Music app. If you go to like a song that you like, you can highlight it and then click play radio of the song, and it'll
Hmm.
just play
Mm.
nothing but songs that are similar, which is pretty nice. I use it all the time.
Yeah, they just added that to Spotify not too long ago as well.
I
I
was also going to say that like a lot of fucking artists that I like Tech Nine, he left Spotify, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? And
hmm
I guess it comes down to pay. I guess Spotify isn't paying very well these days, so a lot
no,
of artists are just leaving in droves, or were
Yeah,
anyway.
they're making it even worse now. So,
yeah,
Well, we're gonna have another Napster event if
Mm.
the shit doesn't get fixed. People accepted paying a monthly subscription, but it's just getting out of control, just like cable cutting.
Yep.
Everyone, dropped cable, but all these subscription fees are just adding up. We might as well have cable again. And I'm kind of in the same boat with all these
Yeah.
subscription fees. I'm like, oh my God, I'm just gonna go back to pirating everything, guys, if you don't get your shit together.
Yep. I was gonna say, for those that have Apple TV, Napoleon will go to that once it's out of theaters. It's
oh
an Apple
sick,
product, so
oh sick.
And
and
that's one
also it also
I
goes
have.
up $3 next month. So enjoy
Hmm,
that.
thank God I don't use it.
I have
uh,
a free trial that I never used. I think you get it like 3 or 6 months for free every time you get an iPhone, and I've never claimed them.
Yep.
they have some killer shows. We just finished season 1 of Silo. Really good. Those are based off books. Uh, and then, like I said, Napoleon's coming to that. Monarch Legacy of Monsters is really good. Speaking of, actually, episode 3, you get to see Godzilla. Fucking awesome. I'm so stoked on that show right now. It's amazing.
Oh
Heck
man.
yeah. No, there's a couple shows on Apple TV that I definitely wanted to watch and check out, but we just canceled. We used to have the Hulu Live TV subscription,
Oh
and
man, that's so
Mm-hmm.
expensive,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah,
Like
it's
80
Yeah.
or 90
we
bucks.
used to
It's
do that.
the
crazy.
price just went up, and that's why we just canceled it, because
Yeah.
it was down in like I think it was like high 60s, and then it went to low 70s, and then it jumped up to like 80 something dollars, and we canceled it.
Jeez.
Yeah.
When it
I
made
don't
its
know. We used
jump,
to do that.
yeah.
Yeah, I
So
had
did
it
so
very
did we.
briefly when it first came out, and it was okay, but I was just like, oh God, commercials, and
Mm-hmm.
I just had flashbacks as to why I left cable to begin with.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was just internet cable. Like, it cracks me up. Like, you pull it up right now, and it's internet cable. Like, you can channel surf just the way
Yeah.
you can on cable TV and look at all the channels.
Yep.
I just mostly
Yep.
like
That you
it
don't want to
because
watch.
I don't have an antenna for some of the local channels, and I do enjoy watching some of our little stupid local channels. Like, every once in a while, I don't mind catching the local news, and stupid shit like that. I can watch it on the internet,
Oh,
but
absolutely.
it's just also
Your
nice
TV
to.
doesn't have a digital. Your TV doesn't have a digital antenna in it. I thought most, as long as you have a receiver, like they basically pick up everything. I
No,
thought, but maybe it's because of where we live, I guess.
Yeah, the one out in my front room doesn't. I tried. It does not, unfortunately. I need to
Oh,
get
I gotcha.
I
Okay,
need to get
so
the digital TV antenna thing from wherever. I need to buy one of those and hook it up to
but
the TV.
that's what I was
Man,
gonna
I feel like
ask.
we're in 2003 right now. This
Yeah,
is
what the
crazy.
fuck, dude?
Dude,
I used to work at
coat
Radio
hangers.
Shack, bro. We got those.
Yeah,
Coat
right.
hangers, man. Coat hangers, I'm telling you. I remember the old box TVs
Yeah,
with the bunny
coat
ears.
hangers. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, come on now.
Get some
Having to walk up to
get
the
some
TV and
tinfoil.
turn a dial.
Get the tinfoil wrapped around the antennas. Give it that extra little
You gotta
bit.
make sure you get that boost.
That's right.
Give it a good
Yeah, dude.
smack.
Humble booster.
Go up there to adjust the antenna, and you move the antenna a little bit, and all of a sudden you got to stand there and hold it because that's the only time you can get signals when you're standing there holding it.
Now you're watching TV
Yep.
with a kinked neck.
Yeah,
Yep.
dude. The good
Remember
old
those days. The
days.
struggle was real. Trailer parks in Corvallis were famous for it.
Yeah, dude.
I have a CRT in storage that's worth a lot of money now. It's an old Sony Wega, and they're very sought after now. So, yeah,
Just hold
Dude,
on to that.
That's so
yeah,
funny.
they're
Okay,
fucking great TVs.
Chowder, is your TV within at least close proximity to like a window?
Kinda.
Because they make like fucking $15 little stick in the window
Oh,
antennas
yeah.
that'll plug into your TV.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, now that we have our internet, we just got the new modem, our internet's running good, and we're
Nice.
kind of pulling down the subscription stuff, and like, honestly, the amount of stuff I watch now, it's usually on a specific website where I watch all my anime now that I
Yep.
shared with everybody, and it is a .org. It's a .org site. Okay, it's a .org.
Dude, you
Oh,
ain't gonna
wow.
tell me nothing. I have a Plex server with like 4 terabytes of movies, TV shows. Like, I hate streaming and I hate paying for something. So if I hear about a release, I'll just get it by other means, honestly.
Yeah, and I've
There
been
you go, there you
watching.
go.
That's how I watch all my anime.
No
and
shame
stuff.
in my game.
But it's like I watch most of my stuff on YouTube, and if there's a movie that I'm dying to watch, me and Tiff will rent it on YouTube or something. Like I just the easy route.
Dude, that's how I am with Prime. Because I have Prime
I'm watching a
Video.
football game right now, and I'm going to tell you it's not through NFL Sunday Ticket.
Thank God. That's so ridiculous.
That's
What a
just
joke, man. Like
dumbest thing ever.
$350. What a joke.
Just for
I don't think
Sunday.
NHL is that much, but it's cheaper and you can't see any fucking games. It's literally a scam. I hate the NHL.
Yeah, I'm like, I was hopeful that the NFL finally got out from under DirecTV. They were in a contract for 30 years with the NFL Sunday Ticket. And I was hopeful that, maybe it wouldn't be so bad. I mean, at least it's more easily accessible now. You don't have to have DirecTV now, a satellite, subscription. So in a way it is cheaper, but my God, are they milking it?
Well,
Yeah, no, they always have.
I feel the same way about UFC fights. It's like I don't want to
Oh,
pay. I
yeah.
don't want to pay $60 for a fucking pay-per-view to watch a fight that could last literally 3 fucking seconds. Like
Oh,
Agreed.
it
yeah.
can happen.
It's happened to
It
me.
has happened. I have seen it happen.
Yep.
My best example is Jorge Masvidal versus Ben Askren. That was the big fight everyone was waiting for. So much shit talk. Ben Askren goes in for a fucking takedown right off the fucking bell, and Jorge Masvidal kneed that dude to the forehead and knocked him out within the first 3 seconds of the match, and that was it.
Jesus
That
Christ.
was the match. That's what you paid $60 to watch. I mean, it was fucking crazy. It was a world record. It was crazy,
Yeah.
awesome. But it was 3 seconds.
Yeah,
No,
You just paid for a video game that you don't even get to play now.
Yeah, and then like you're gonna see it on a highlight for free on the internet anyway.
Exactly, because
Yup.
that's what
Yeah, you are.
happens. And that's like if I don't I have a website to watch all my fights on, but if I don't watch the fight, I just go to YouTube and watch highlights on shorts very shortly after or something like that. You know what I mean? Like the exciting parts are usually the knockouts. There's some good stuff in between matches, but everyone always wants to see the knockout, the finisher. So, and that's
For sure.
Yeah.
that's how you catch up
So-
quick.
I mean, that's how. I mean, when it came to when I was in North Dakota, we used to all pitch in and get the fights because there's like 30 of us living on a property, and so we would go into the main house
Well,
and watch the fight.
that's a little different. If there's that many people
Right.
pitching in, and you guys, and it's a big
No,
hall,
absolutely.
and everybody's hanging
Yeah, a
out.
couple bucks.
It's the same thing
Yeah,
at like a
absolutely,
bar.
absolutely.
You know, like at the bar,
Right,
like if a
yeah.
sports bar, you know, if a few guys want to pitch in and they buy the pay-per-view there at the bar and everyone's sitting there enjoying it, that I kind of understand and I get the I
No,
get it.
absolutely. Absolutely.
It
I'm just
reminds me
saying.
of the Xbox generation when they weren't going to let everyone share games. And then Sony
Oh.
dropped that commercial. Remember, they were like, this is how you share games on PlayStation.
Yeah,
And it
Yep.
just shows him like handing a game over to the guy or whatever. But they had a whole scheme even
dude.
in their code that you had to use the camera thing that came with the Xbox. And
The
if
Xbox One.
you rented a movie, yeah, the Xbox One, the old one or whatever. And if the camera detected more than one person in the room, they would charge you another fee if you rented a movie or something like
Oh
that.
my god.
It was such a
you
joke, man. I'm so glad they
fucking
got rid of that one fucking guy that was running the
Dude,
show. I can't remember his name now.
watching you.
Have you guys
Oh
seen
my
the video?
god, that was such a weird time, dude.
Have you seen the video of them announcing it live? Oh my god, it's the
yeah,
most
dude.
awkward shit ever. Like, it's so dead quiet in that fucking studio, you could hear a pin drop, and then all of a sudden people start going, boo.
It was so heavily meme, dude. The whole presentation was about TV,
Yeah.
TV.
Well, they were trying to turn at that time, he was really trying to turn the Xbox into like the media center of your living room. Like it was
Yeah.
less about it was less about the games and more about watching shit on your TV in your front room.
Yeah, I remember watching an interview, and it was also announced that the console was going to be online only. Like it always
Yep.
had to be online. And Jeff Keighley, the host of the award show or whatever, the Game of the Year awards, he was interviewing this guy, and he was like, "So, what do you have to say to all the fans that don't have internet?" And he's just like, "Well, Xbox 360 still exists. So if you need a platform that isn't required internet all the time, you can just stay
Jesus.
on there." What a
It's so
jokester.
I'm glad that
Yeah,
guy is
really
no
bad.
longer in charge of Xbox.
I'm surprised.
He was the
As a
CEO of like EA before, I'm pretty sure. That's where he
I
came
wonder
from.
they're
Was
shitty.
EA or Activision, one of the two. I think it was EA actually. Yeah, EA.
Bobby
Holy
Kotick is
shit.
his own problem, but like we talked about, the good news is Bobby Kotick is out January 2024. Like they're booting his ass January. So
Yay.
Yeah, for real after that. And I'm not even an Xbox fan, but that's just shitty shit and shady as hell.
Yeah, that's terrible.
well, that's not even all
Like-
Xbox. That's just fucking Blizzard and the ABK themselves. Like as
True.
a fucking like the amount of drama that came out of there with the Bobby Kotick thing and all the shit that was going on. Like the guy.
Well, I think he just means that Xbox generation in general. Like
Mhm.
Microsoft is lucky
Oh,
that
that
they survived that, honestly.
Oh yeah, no, them pulling back on all that stuff that they want to do was the only reason why they stayed relevant. And then I think they carried over a lot of good graces from the 360 because the 360 was like the golden age of multiplayer. Like everybody was playing on Xbox Live, Modern Warfare 2.
I'm
back in
gonna
the
have-
day.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
definitely where they plateaued, that's for sure. And it's just
Dude.
been they still haven't recovered from the release of the Xbox One. It was so catastrophic. They lost so much of it. I'm pretty sure even you got a PS4 that year, Chow.
Yep, I did.
Oh, dude, the only Xbox I've ever owned was the 360.
Same.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Like-
the
It's the
one
only
that
time
I
skipped
played the most.
PlayStation.
Right.
Yeah, I've always had an Xbox, but it's never been to play
Well,
games. It's more of just like it sits at my TV
I
on
had-
an entertainment center.
I had a 360 first, and I that was before I had internet. I had an Xbox 360 before we had internet, and then it red ring a death on me, and I didn't have an Xbox for a while. I honestly was playing on an OG Xbox when that broke because I still had a shitload of OG Xbox games in my OG Xbox. So I was like playing like Destroy All Humans 2 and shit for a while, and then I saved up money and bought a PS3.
Yeah.
And I had a PS3 until the PS4 came out, and I bought a PS4, and then my PS4 eventually broke. Like it was probably 5 years into the PS5 generation. Skyrim had just came out, like the remastered version of Skyrim on PS4 had just came out. I remember that distinctly. And then my PS4 broke. and I can't necessarily talk about how I got the money to get the console, but a homie helped me out, and I ended up buying an Xbox.
Rogues.
I ended up buying an Xbox One, and I've stuck on Xbox ever since. And I bought an Xbox One right, and I can tell you when. Kind of, it was when Battlefield 1 came out on PS4 and Xbox One. Which a lot of people will claim is their last favorite Battlefield game, which I can understand. It was the World War one. I really actually enjoyed that. The sniping was great. So,
Yeah, that franchise used to be so great, man. I loved it.
it started going. It like Battlefield 5 was its last real good hurrah. There was some parts
The
about
problem
Battlefield
is
5.
like they fixed it way too fucking late. That was a great game and the
Mhm.
core was great, but it's just like with the 2042 release, like people were already burned out on the bad release of 5, even though it's fixed and it's a great game now
Yep.
and it's in a good state. It was just too little too late.
Yep.
Just like
And then
Battlefield 2042, like it had so much potential, but they just
too little too
fucked
late.
it up.
And now that the game is at a spot where like they've added all of the weapons from the fucking portal, which they should have done from the very beginning. They added all those portal weapons into the game and put all of the attachments are available and all of the guns now, like it should have been from the beginning. Now they're like they've seen a minor resurgence, nothing serious. There are some more people playing it, but it's nothing to like noteworthy by any means.
Yeah, it seems like Battlefield 5 and Battlefield 2042 kind of changed places for first place between the two and
Mhm.
player counts. Like, for instance, 2042 only has 3,000 more players on Steam right this second than Battlefield 5. So it's kind of,
Mhm.
yeah. Well, actually, Battlefield 5 has had more of a gain in the last 30 days than even 2042 has on Steam.
Yep,
So,
and it's just it's
yeah, I think people are giving up on it.
yeah, Battlefield, like if who knows what EA is going to do next. I heard that there was someone from the Call of Duty, like one of the OGs from the Call of Duty team has taken over there with DICE. So, I don't know what's going to happen in the next couple years with that team and what kind of games they're going to be releasing, but again, it's one of those things
I
that
don't think it'll be Battlefield, honestly. I think that
I think they're
the
going to change
problem
it.
the yeah, I think Battlefield as a franchise will be dead and maybe they'll try something else because the problem with EA is they see the numbers and they're like, "Oh, this isn't cost effective," even though they shot themselves in the foot by not putting out a finished product. They don't see that. They see it as like, "Oh, this flopped, so let's just kill off the franchise now."
Yep.
They didn't buy it, so
Which is
you know
sad.
what I mean?
Which is sad because there's so many like I think, and this is just a theory, I think personally they could have one last ditch effort, but they'd have to figure out a way to do it right if they tried to do a Battlefield Bad Company 3 and do like another game in that series, because the Bad Company series is really popular amongst the Battlefield community. I played the shit out of Bad
Absolutely.
Company 2. And if they could have a small possibility of revitalizing the series if they went back to Bad Company and they did it right and the game felt good and it played good and it didn't have that EA stank on it. But that's a long shot. So, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
you can still play Bad Company too. There's
Oh
still a
yeah.
few hundred people playing it right now on Steam. So
Yeah,
there's still an active player base and people, looking for something like that.
exactly.
But the thing is if they even dip their toes into the Battlefield franchise again, it's going to have to be so polished and
Well, that's why I
be
said it's
so
a long
complete.
shot.
Dude, yeah, they're going to have to really really, show us that we can trust them, but I you know me, I don't
Mhm.
have any hope in EA or Activision or any of those guys, so
I think it's a long shot at best is the best way you can say that. Like it just is. It's gonna be a shit show no matter what happens with Battlefield at this point, which sucks. But because I'm a huge fan of that series, and I would, Battlefield 4, you can still play it on PC, and you can still even play it on Xbox. There's still people playing it on Xbox right now as we speak. Like you can get on it and find servers that are still active, but it just it doesn't, I don't know, it just doesn't hit the same anymore. Like I like the game to feel better, and you know what I mean. I like that modern feel to it.
yeah, like pushing the industry forward, not
Hmm.
just stagnating. That's my whole mantra is like if you're not going to bring something new to the table, just don't make anything new.
No, I would like to. I'd like to know. I like to know that, and with shooting, it's I find it such a difficult thing because like I see places where it can be pushed forward, especially with these multiplayer games, but at the same time, like I don't know, like everybody,
Well, they can start by like completing the games for one,
yeah,
like maybe finish the game. That would be a good place to start, like
finish
not
it.
give us a half-ass campaign and just a broken fucking game. That'd be a great start.
No, 110%. And I just I I just see the internet with everybody, asking for I want 2019 movement. They like people ask for the same shit, and then some people are like, why we get the same shit again? And it's like I sometimes I get so mad and frustrated because
Well, the thing is like there is some truth to that. Like, if you look at games like CS:GO, it barely fucking changes. It doesn't
mm-hmm,
do much different from when it launched. It's one of the oldest shooters there is, and it's still one of the most popular shooters there is.
mm-hmm,
Why fix
Yeah.
what's not broken? And they just keep on. The thing is they create problems so they can fix them later, so they can give themselves a big fucking pat on the back, or they leave out features and then add them later and say, "Oh, look, we added this for you."
yep,
It's just a ploy that everyone keeps on buying into. You look at CS:GO, it's solid. It's a solid game.
Yeah, it
They
is.
only change things that need to be changed. Don't change or don't fix what's not broken. Just improve on the things that need to be improved. And that's what they're not doing.
yep. And I just like and then like I said, I see the side of people, oh, the game hasn't changed in years, blah blah blah. It's like I just that's why I always tell people, play what you like, play what you like.
Mhm.
The
Yeah,
game.
absolutely.
I wish that games could like. I love seeing games like Spider-Man do like all of the new different things. It's like I love those types of things, but I also agree with Joe 110%. If it's not broken, don't fix it. So some of these
Yep.
changes I always
It's just
are
not
just
even
so
at that point.
unnecessary, so unnecessary.
Yeah, COD had movement down and had core. I mean, think about how long COD has been around. Like, I'm pretty sure they had it figured out by 2012 or even earlier as far as movement and just physics and how the game just functions. Like, they should just be giving us quality of life. They should be finishing games. They should be giving us incentive to buy the new title,
I would
not
like to see a
you know
poll. I'd like to see a poll across Call of Duty players across all the consoles on which Call of Duty game had the best movement in their opinion.
Well, most of the people that are OGs aren't playing COD anymore, so it's going to be a lot of people that are in in these generations that haven't even experienced those old titles. So
I feel like
it would
the
be
Yeah.
kind of a lost cause. Everyone that I used to play COD is just play COD with is like, yeah, no, I'm good. I mean, I know I'm pushing 40 now or whatever, but I don't know how many people, in my demographic that are tolerant of it anymore.
well, I feel like it'd be pushed between two games. I feel like most of the older generation would probably say one of the Black Ops games. But if you've been
Yep.
playing the Warzone constantly and that's what you're into, everyone's gonna say Modern Warfare 2019.
See, like
Yep.
me and most of my
2018.
friends, we haven't even played Warzone. We haven't even made it that far. I stopped playing all the way back. I think Black Ops 3 was the last COD game I ever played, and it wasn't a bad game. It just wasn't a great game.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
No, I mean, that's my hands down, my favorite one is Black Ops 2.
see, and that's
Oh yeah,
I had
easy,
the
easy
most
decision.
amount
If
of
they
time
remade
into
that
it.
game even and like perfected it, I would probably buy it.
see, and I
But
think
Yeah.
that's
they would
where
they would probably find a way to fuck it up, honestly.
I think that's where the split is because I know a lot of people who would say that Modern Warfare 2019 was the game for them. Like it was the movement, that was where, Warzone became really big. So, and I see both sides cuz
Yeah.
I have Black Ops 2 on my Xbox 360, like the Xbox 360 version of it because they like restarted the servers for it on Xbox and you can play that game on Xbox. Um,
Kelly.
and it's I was having a good time playing it because I played a shitload of it. I was max prestige back in the day, but I uh
Yeah.
I also feel like I've slightly some of the things I enjoy have changed over time as well. Like I do enjoy this really fast, swift movement in the new multiplayer. I like the slide canceling and stuff. I have been enjoying that. So I just
I think I think when most people talk about Black Ops 2, it's just more of like, you know, they refer to it as the last great one because it was the last one to really get the respect in the campaign and,
Mm-hmm.
you know, the time
No,
and the effort.
100%.
And it just seems like it
Yeah.
was a decline from there. Like, yeah, movement's great and movement might even be better now, but that's just like 1/10 of the game.
No, 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, for me now, my main focus, like, I'm enjoying the zombies, but my main focus now is always gonna be Warzone. So I guess, like I said, my changes the things that I like have changed over time. So
Right. Well, and I mean, you see, right?
2019 Modern
There's
Warfare definitely felt like we're moving kind of like with the older CODs with the smoother movement and stuff like that. And then like 2020, 2021, 2022, we just like went backwards.
yeah, it
because
did.
we did as a society.
Yeah, and a lot of it is the rush development too. It's not so
hmm
much that like they can't or it's, you know, it
Well,
just boils down to greed, unfortunately. So hopefully they'll delay it and like give them more than 16 months to make a game. What? That still blows my mind. Like
yeah,
Yeah.
think
Yeah,
about
that's
that.
terrible, man.
16 months to make a video game.
don't
That
hold your
is
breath.
insane to me.
Don't hold your breath. The
Yeah,
rumors on the Twitter are already circulating
we've
that the leak
already got
for
a new COD name.
Call of Duty Black Ops Gulf War
Yep.
is what I'm hearing.
I
Well,
have
that's
seen
why
that.
people are leaving in droves at Sledgehammer. That they're
Treyarch.
eventually just they're gonna yeah, Treyarch, all of them, every COD developer. It's a fucking nightmare to work there.
Yep.
You know, imagine working 17-hour days. I mean, fuck that, dude.
Okay,
I'm
but that being said, like Joe, I 100% agree with everything that you were saying there. But if Treyarch picks up another Black Ops and does what Treyarch has done before, that could go. I mean, it's been a while since a Black Ops line's come out, so I think
Didn't Treyarch have a hand in this last one? The
did they?
one
Cold War.
And
this last
Yeah,
one?
yep,
it was a Treyarch game.
Yeah,
sure
and
was.
Yeah, and
okay
Treyarch
for
was
me,
my favorite before, but they're
but
not the
see,
same.
right. But see, for me, I enjoyed Cold War for what it was.
Oh yeah,
I
I played it
enjoyed.
too.
I played the campaign. I played the campaign through 4 or 5 times because there are certain levels where you could pick and choose your ending. Like you didn't have to end a certain way. You could have gone to the dark side, or
Yeah, yeah.
whichever way. So like I enjoyed. So that's what I mean. If Treyarch is the one putting out Gulf War and Gulf War is real, which, dude, let's just put it this way: Black Ops is following any kind of war that the CIA's had their fucking hands in, and yes, the Gulf War was one of them. My uncle was there. Um, like
Treyarch
I
at least
think
makes better campaigns.
Let me just put it into perspective on let me just give you my perspective on the whole thing. It doesn't boil down to studios, who's making it. It boils down to giving them the time. Because for me, Treyarch used to be my favorite among, you know, all the studios that made COD because they were so good at zombies. But I
correct.
made this point in the last podcast. I made this point like I loved Bethesda in a certain time when all the people that made those great games were actually there. All the people that made all the great zombies games for Treyarch when I played those games aren't there anymore. So it's not a studio based thing for me. It's
Correct.
always it's just a rotating door of people that are treated like shit all the time and it's there's no passion in it and that I don't care who's making it, but I will give credit where credit's due. I don't care who makes it. If they give them the time and it's a good polished game, I will give credit where it's due. And I would love to see COD succeed again. Don't get me wrong. I'm not here just to hate on COD because it's popular. I used to love COD and I would love to get back into it and I would love to see it succeed again, but they just don't give the people the time that they need. And I just can't get behind that.
No, we'll definitely. Well, I seen that on Twitter, and I, I was already just like kind of guffawed about it. I was like, you know, this is the exact problem that we have with Call of Duty is this
Yep.
1 year life cycle of these games. I want to spend more than 1 year playing one of these games. That's like,
And
I
do
want to
you think
spend
anyone
time.
with any like real creativity, do you think anyone that wants to be creative is going to keep themselves in an environment where they're rushed and pressed and
Exactly.
Oh, absolutely
just
not.
trying to
Absolutely
milk
not.
every dollar that they can? Like anyone with a creative bone in their body isn't going to stick around for a company like that. And so, yeah, maybe if they treat their employees well, I'll buy their games again.
Yeah, we'll
And
have to.
this is exactly what I was worried about with Warzone. So we have Warzone 3, not even yet, and we already have confirmation, well, more or less confirmation of the next Call of Duty. My thing with Warzone is it's going to launch amazing. It's going to be great for like 3 months. What happens when the next Call of Duty comes out? What happens when that first big new season comes out? It's going to go to shit, and that's what I'm worried about.
Well, yeah. See,
It's the same pattern every single
well,
time.
and
Like
Yep.
that's
one
what
releases and then it's good for a while and then people are waiting for the changes and then all of a sudden a new Call of Duty releases anyway and it's all in vain.
And see, and that's
Yeah.
like,
No, I mean,
and that's the shitty part is right now, and maybe not everyone would fully agree, but I see quite a few people like where the state where the multiplayer is in right now. I definitely have my issues with it, but I enjoy the state where the multiplayer is in. And like Kyle said, Warzone 3 is going to come out. It's going to feel way better than what Warzone we have right now because the movement's going to be better. The guns feel better. That on-screen recoil's gone. But again, what happens when if in a year they drop a new Black Ops? What's going to happen to Warzone? Are they going to
Yeah,
integrate
and
all those
change the movement.
They're going to integrate
and
all these Black Ops weapons in again? Are we going to have half of our weapon loadout again able to have 10 attachments instead of just 5? Like, do you remember that
You
shit?
remember when they just like didn't transfer things over to other games? They just, remade everything and created it from the ground up. Those were the good old days.
Yeah.
right.
Well, I mean,
I don't know.
I have to
I,
say
I, st- I
Warzone
still stand.
Warzone
Go ahead.
bringing the guns over, I do enjoy just because I have so much shit for all those guns and I like having the options. I've always, like at least maybe that's just me. I've always wanted it so that like yeah, give me a new multiplayer game, new stuff, but also let me have some of the weapons that I have been in other games. Like they still exist, they're still there. Just add them in.
Yeah,
There's
I
just more of a
totally agree
list.
with you. Definitely fun to use those weapons again. I just mean in the aspect of like, okay, the previous game is there with all the guns. You can play that. Let's try something new.
Let's add more.
Create some new things. Let's add on to it, and then maybe bring back those old guns later. Not just
Mhm.
let's just transfer all the shit over to
Gosh.
make it seem like our game actually has a bunch of content, but really we're just transferring it from one game to the other, sort of thing. That's what bothers me.
Oh yeah, for
And that's
sure.
where I wish Warzone was just a standalone. Like, if you
Yeah,
guys
it's
continue to do your stupid annual releases and change all the mechanics and guns and camos and how you unlock all that shit, just leave Warzone alone.
dude. It would
Integrate
be
your themes or whatever, but leave it alone. Leave the movement
it
alone.
would
It's
be
Call of Duty.
it would be a money pit if they made it standalone. Especially even with it being free to play.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
leave it free to play. You're still racking in so much money from the stupid
Yeah,
cosmetics that are all $20
yeah,
or
absolutely. Look
more.
at Fortnite. They've made billions of dollars every year since release just on skins alone. Like they're doing it
Yep.
right. And I don't understand why COD, like even on the multiplayer aspect of it, like they should be in a free to like I would consider playing even the shit stain of a game right now if it was free at least.
Yeah. At this point, it
The
should be. It's
multiplayer, the
literally the same
multiplayer.
game. It's literally the same game. At
Right,
this point, it
right.
should be free. Especially Modern Warfare 3. They should have
It's
just
not
given
even
it to free
DLC
for
at this
everyone.
point. It's just another way to just get money out of people. It's nuts.
It's a game we should have last year.
Literally.
Ridiculous.
Yeah,
yeah.
that
No,
is the one thing is if they would have just had it like this last year, we wouldn't be in this situation with Warzone.
Yeah.
right.
But
Well, they
But,
get
they'll
behind
never
on a
listen
schedule, so
to
they have
people
to
like
make
me,
up with
so.
it.
yeah. But again, I end up back in the same place always that every time I try to play Apex, I cannot play Apex for longer than a couple matches. I get frustrated with
I
that
don't
game.
like that game.
Yep. Fortnite, I enjoy Fortnite, but I like first person shooters better than I like third person. That's just what it is. That's why I have a hard time playing PUBG for a long extended amounts of time. Like, yeah, you can go into
Hmm.
first person, but if you're in a third person lobby and you're playing only in first person, you're putting yourself at a huge disadvantage. So,
No,
Yeah,
you
Yeah,
massive.
and it wasn't easy for me to give up these games, don't get me wrong,
no,
but it's
it's
just like it's just I can only handle it for so long,
No,
I
and
guess. And
I
like Destiny
100%
was
agree.
my hardest one to put down. I mean, I was such a super fan of Destiny, and it was hard for me to come to terms on that one, especially. But
Yeah.
sometimes you just you have to draw a line in the sand eventually.
Deleting that from
No,
my Xbox was also kind of painful.
Yeah,
I
absolutely,
Yeah.
man. I have a lot of memories in that game, and I have a lot of
yeah,
memories in COD, and that's why I'm so passionate. I want it. I want to hang out with my bros again, dude.
Yeah,
Right? Yeah.
I want to, yeah, like
absolutely, absolutely.
I wish COD was in a better state, but I just, like I said, I can't find another first person shooter that I like. I played Halo with Ty and Pill the other day, and I really like the Halo 3 playlist they got in there. The maps are really sweet, and I enjoy that. But Halo is such a different experience playing as a shooter compared to COD. You know what I mean? Like it's an arena.
Halo is way more arcade style
Yeah,
shooter, I think.
yeah, and it's an arena shooter. Like
Right.
you don't make a class, you don't have perks. You go in with equipment and some guns, and you find other guns on the map, and that's how that's the whole base of the game. And so I like Halo
Right.
for what it is, and I will always love Halo for what it is. But I will always find myself coming back to Call of Duty because I'm addicted to that gameplay loop.
For sure,
Yeah,
man. And
it
there's
still
always
is
going
the
to be tons of
smoothest for
fun to be
me.
had there for sure.
Yeah, that the game, like
Mhm.
that's regardless of all the problems, and like I see all the problems, I can't find another gameplay loop that keeps my interest as much as this one. Like
Yeah.
it's one of those things. Like
Agreed.
I'm really I got a lot of hope in I got a lot of hope that we get to see something soon with Grand Theft Auto. I'm still waiting for that trailer.
Mm.
That's another
Yeah.
game that I will sink my teeth into. Like that's why I was so excited for
Same.
Starfield to come out, because
Yeah.
I'm
it was
hearing
a
rumors
nice.
that that game might be over $70. Like as a starter package, Rockstar knows how badly we want this
Hmm.
game, and
Dude,
I've heard rumors that they might
Yeah.
charge $100 standard edition on that game.
I could believe
Yeah.
it. I hate to say it, but I could believe it because Rockstar will fucking get away with it too.
Yep.
No,
Oh,
dude,
absolutely, they will.
Rockstar will give you what you're paying for, though. Like,
I'll say it
Yeah,
right
yeah,
now. I'll buy
I'll
it.
gladly pay
yeah,
$100 for a full flat, and I say this all the fucking time. I would gladly pay more for video games if I
If
didn't
they're
have to
good.
pay a season pass or a subscription fee or just constantly pumping money into these games. I would gladly pay more.
Yep.
Yeah,
Give me a finished product.
if
Yeah, for a
GTA
finished product, yeah.
if GTA 6 is gonna be everything that we think it's gonna be, it'll definitely be worth the money.
oh,
And I
big
mean,
time, big time.
to be
For
honest with
sure.
you, I
For
can't
sure.
tell you the last time I just paid $70 for a game anyway, because I am that guy. So
What do you mean?
I most of the time, if a game comes out and I plan on buying it, I'm usually buying like the gold edition. Like you know what I mean? Like I am
Yeah,
that
yeah,
guy.
yeah.
Like I am that guy. So I haven't paid seventy
Get all the
dollars for
extra
a game in
perks.
quite a while. Like I haven't
I'm
paid.
like the I'm like the anti guy of that. I don't
Yeah.
pre-order games. I don't get the gold editions. I used to pre-order games when there was actual incentive to do so, but nowadays it's just a way for them to fill their pockets and incentivize themselves to not make a good game
Yeah.
Yeah, they try to butter you up with like some extra cosmetics and stuff that you can use
that
in
you
game,
won't
which is
use.
cool.
You'll never use. Like you'll use it for the first week and then you'll forget about it.
Yep.
Yeah, with Alan
No
Wake
one
2,
here could
I
probably
did
tell me
get
what
like
they even got with it. Like initially, like no one can remember any pre-order bonus that they got a month after they got it.
I mean, the
I
only
remember
one.
Alan Wake just because like the game is like pretty legit so far. I haven't had any like massive issues. A little lag here and there, but like nothing too major. They did have those audio fixes, so those were mainly patched. But I do have a little bit of lag right now. But um, the extra gun skins and the alternate skin for Saga and Alan Wake are pretty cool. They're just kind of like throwbacks to the first game, so
This is a
those are
pretty good
cool. But
segue, actually. Baldur's Gate 3 is actually getting a hard copy release because of the tremendous success. And with the special
nice.
edition, you get the entire OST on 3 discs. You get a full-size map, the leatherback hard case. You get all this fucking shit. And I'm thinking about buying the PlayStation version, even though I don't have a PlayStation, just so I can get all the goodies that come with it.
Oh,
Does it not? Do they not have an Xbox version of it?
Well, it's not released on Xbox yet.
Well, I know. I just figured because
It's not even announced officially yet. They think it's going to be announced at the Game Awards, so it probably will be. I'm sure it'll transfer over, but it's only announced for PlayStation right now. So
I just figured they were gonna come up with an Xbox version of it. Like I figured they were gonna like kind of squeeze it in here pretty soon because they talked about it
yeah,
not too long
maybe.
ago. So
And it also just depends, on if they feel like that group of people will buy it, because they have to take the pool of people and say, is this cost effective, sort of thing. So maybe they will, maybe they won't. I have no idea. They might just stick it to Xbox and say no. I don't know, because they got treated kind of shitty by Xbox. They say that they don't, take it personally, but there's kind of some bad blood there, honestly. And that's my theory as to why they put their foot down on uh the whole memory thing with the Xbox Series S and them not being able to put split screen
Split
co-op
screen.
on the Series S. I think it was just to kind of stick it to Xbox and say, hey, we're not going to scratch your back if you're not going to scratch our back, sort of thing. So,
yeah, I know that they
they
said
broke
it's for
they
sure
broke
coming.
cadence.
I know they said it's for sure coming, but I just don't know when. So
Split screen co-op is coming to the Series X. It will not be coming
no,
to
I
the
wasn't
Series
talking.
S.
I was talking about the game in general. I was talking about the game.
December, well, I think December 7th is what the rumors are. But probably announced, maybe even shadow dropped at the Game Awards, maybe. I don't know.
Okay, yeah, that's the rumor I heard as well. So
Right.
yeah.
Shadow dropping would be a great thing to do.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it would. I feel like it would sell pretty well if they didn't stick it in Game Pass over on Xbox. So I feel like it would sell
Yeah, I
pretty
mean, if
well.
if history repeats itself, it definitely will sell well.
Yeah,
It wouldn't be in their best interest to put it on Game Pass, that's
yeah.
for sure.
I
Because there's a whole pool of people on PC that would just play it on Game Pass too,
mm-hmm.
and it's the highest selling game on Steam. It would literally take Microsoft probably about $1 billion to get that game on Game Pass at this point.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. It would. They would have to drop a fat bag on it.
Yeah, big time. Big
F-
fucking time.
They'd have to drop a fat bag on it. That's what I've always thought about it. I didn't ever think it was gonna go to Game Pass. I seen a couple people talking about it, and I was like, no, it's not.
It's really funny, dude. It would have, if Xbox wouldn't have just let that, be such a huge oversight. They came to Xbox and they had a really, really, really small price tag when it was in early access to be like, hey, this game's about ready. And the Xbox leaks were very telling about what they said. They compared it to like a something Stadia release or something like that, like comparing it to just a throwaway game, and just a huge oversight. I think it's kind of hilarious, honestly.
Well, I
But
mean,
yeah, there's some bad blood there.
Microsoft is good at that. They did the same thing with Spider-Man. And I do believe they did the same thing with another franchise, but the biggest one is Spider-Man. They were offered Spider-Man first and they turned it down. So
That's
that is
crazy.
yeah.
I thought Spider-Man had something to do with Sony having rights to the movies or the
That,
intellectual property or something
that's
like
what I
that.
was thinking.
It was I
'Cause they
know
they have the movies and all that, so I'm pretty sure that's why they were the ones
yeah,
that got it,
but I
because
know that
it's
originally
Sony makes a tons of movies.
Microsoft was offered some sort of Spider-Man deal and they said no because they didn't think the superhero thing would do well on console. That's that's what I heard.
I could see it. I could almost guarantee you because yeah, Joe, you're right. Sony does have ownership on some of the Spider-Mans, right? So I
Yeah,
could
yeah,
see no matter
they
what.
own the intellectual property on Spider-Man, so that's
So
why they make the games right now, and they've always had Spider-Man games on PlayStation, so I don't know
yeah.
when that
Well,
discussion was.
so here's I don't know.
Maybe
I
a
don't want to
contract
say this
expired
is
or something.
either that or I guess I don't want to say that this could be exactly how it is, but speculation, food for thought is we knew it was coming on PlayStation, but why not offer it to Xbox as well? Because
This was
try
this
to
was
get
back
as
What,
many
the
people in
current
on it.
Spider-Man game? Why
no
why wasn't it? Why didn't they put it on Xbox?
well this was what I'm talking about was back in the day. So originally Activision was publishing all of the Spider-Man games
Okay,
and this
yeah,
was
way
from
back.
Marvel and the guy he J O N G I can't pronounce his name. It's Jay Ong, I want to say. He was the
Hmm.
executive vice president of Marvel Games at the time. They felt that Activision wasn't doing enough with the IP because they were scoring 40s on Metacritic.
Right.
Wow.
And they eventually offered the game. I think he offered the game up to Microsoft first, and they turned it down, and then Sony picked it up.
Dum 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 dum.
I mean,
Yeah.
big time.
Yeah,
Especially
Xbox.
after seeing how it.
So yeah, here it is. Quote unquote. Xbox wanted to focus on their own IP. When Ong approached PlayStation, he sold it to their VPs with, "We could beat Arkham."
I'm sorry, Microsoft focusing on their own IP. I've
This
never
was
heard that.
well. This was back
Oh
in
my
the day
gosh.
when I think it was when Batman Arkham was on Xbox only.
And this was a totally different time in
Mhm.
gaming.
Yeah, this was
when
a totally
Xbox
different.
was on top of their game.
Yeah, this was
Yeah.
a totally different time of gaming. We could beat Arkham and have one game and maybe multiple games that could drive adoption of your platform, and that is how Sony would eventually end up staking $100 million in a Marvel game.
They got a great fucking deal on that.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And I mean
crazy.
that's just like, that's oversight of, them at Xbox and this was a completely different time. Like I said, Spider-Man games were scoring 40s on Metacritic. I'm sure there were some business guys sitting around at Microsoft looking at that and looking at this deal being like, I don't think we can do anything with this. And
Mhm.
that's why they turned it down, and lo and behold, Sony turned it into something amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Every once in a
Insomniac
while, I
did.
see those like
Or
Superman on
Insomniac,
Unreal
yeah.
Engine 5, and I'm like, bro, why isn't this in development? Superhero games could be so sick on just depending on the engine. Seemingly Unreal Engine 5, and then whatever Spider-Man was made from.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I'm looking forward to Wolverine for sure. I'm pretty sure Insomniac's doing that as well.
Yeah, I think so. Yep.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what kind of tone that game's gonna have. I hope it's an adult one, and I hope it's bloody.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
it's got to be rated M, man.
It's gotta be, but at the
Gotta
same
be.
time, I'm also wondering if they're gonna like put it at a teen level because they're gonna want to sell it to
Yeah, a bigger demographic.
a bigger
I
demographic.
think a lot of their I don't know, they've released a lot of exclusives that were mature, like Bloodborne and Days Gone, and a lot of those games are M rated, so it wouldn't surprise me.
Well, like even COD actually has like the disembowelment feature. You can remove or keep it. So I mean, maybe they can do
Right.
that, lower the blood and all that. So maybe there's a way you can do both.
Yeah.
I do miss that about old COD games. Like I loved World at War when you'd shoot somebody with a
Dismemberment,
shotgun.
sorry.
Yeah, the dismemberment. And
Disembowelment. Jesus.
everybody's fucking body parts that go flying. I miss that shit in COD.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do miss that.
The good old days.
Yeah.
But
I do still have TV movie updates if you guys want them.
yes, please do.
All right, cool. I'm not familiar with Dave Filoni, but apparently he is now the new CCO, Chief Creator Officer for Lucasfilms. They seem to get a pretty positive feedback with that announcement. I don't know if he maybe had ties with older games or movies, but it seemed pretty positive. So good move for them.
Okay.
New Jason Bourne movie is in the works with Edgar Berger to direct. Matt Damon is expected to return. I saw that he was going to be contacted at that time, so I'm sure at this point he was, and I can't imagine anyone else playing Jason Bourne, so I imagine he's back.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
I
Constantine 2 is moving with production, according to director Francis Lawrence.
Keanu Reeves is my fucking man. I love that dude.
Yeah, and I think that one's been rumored for a few years now, but
Dude, I feel like it's been rumored for like 7 years.
Keanu talked about it on live TV that he wanted to do another Constantine movie.
Yep.
Like even he wants to do another Constantine movie. So yeah, let it fucking happen. The man.
It's like I've been hearing about Beetlejuice for like 7 or 8 years too, I feel like.
Yep. And then that wasn't even like confirmed finally until like a year or two ago. So finally we're getting some of these sequels that we probably deserve years ago.
Yeah, I mean, I don't feel like movies don't hit the same for me as they used to, but also
Never.
I'm also into weird movies, and like I guess I don't know, I like good movies. I like most of the things everybody else likes, but I also love all the cheesy 80 action movies because I grew up on that shit. But movies don't hit the same for me as they used to. Like there's not been a lot of movies I've watched lately that I've been like, that was so good, I have to tell everybody about it. Like, or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm
I think
definitely
we
like,
peaked back in like 2012, maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
I would definitely say so with like comedies and stuff. I feel like we've definitely taken a dip in the last 5 to 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's just kind of rinse and repeat now.
Comedy got weirdly safe
But
too.
I feel like as an adult, I've enjoyed movies more than I did as like a child. I just
feel
have
like
a
the
better
production isn't there
perspective.
anymore.
Yes and no, because like CGI is so prominent now, right? Like there's no real special effects and props and stuff. So it's definitely different in a different era for sure. But
Yeah,
I
It's
don't
not
know.
even so much like special effects for me because I even like the older movies where they used to actually dress up in costumes and like I really appreciated
Mhm.
that. But I just
Yeah,
feel like
totally.
there's not a lot of I think we might have had this discussion already, but I feel like there just isn't the budget that there used to be for movies. And so
prime
but it's not
example.
translating in the creative part. It's just there's just no money to be had there.
My number one
Yeah.
prime example that I love to use every time is Lord of the Rings. I
Yeah.
mean, look at the amount of people they had dressed up as Urukai out there. I mean,
Right, yeah,
my
and it was so
God.
authentic, and I loved that. There was so much special effects, but there was so much authenticity to those movies that
Yeah.
they
Yes.
still hold up to this day.
Yes,
Yep.
exactly. You can go back and watch Lord of the Rings today, and it still looks fantastic. Yes, you can tell in some parts where it's CGI because it's a little bit older. But besides
Yep.
that, it still holds up to this day as a great movie.
Yeah, it's one of the best franchises ever to touch the big screen.
Another
100%. I just rewatched it last month.
another
Like,
movie that I
Hell
think
yeah.
holds
I
up.
don't think we'll ever top it, honestly.
Another movie I think that holds up really well, and I know that Kyle isn't a huge fan of them, but Star Wars Episode 3 in particular. Episode 3 is one of the best fucking movies of all time, in my opinion.
I
Is
will.
that the
That's-
prequel to the original?
Yeah, that's like the movie that you watch Anakin turn into Darth Vader.
Oh, okay.
And
Yeah, see, I
that
didn't
is
like the prequel, but I
the
love the
reason.
original.
Well,
That
it's
is
not
the reason I love it.
the
Is
CGI in that
because-
movie is fantastic, even for that time. Like, it still holds up really good. It still looks really good.
Mhm.
Dude, honestly, so the prequels, so yes, the original Star Wars I love. The prequels, I think the love story got in the way too much, and
Yeah.
A little bit.
that shit ruins things like Pearl Harbor, right? I loved the action scenes. If I watch Pearl Harbor, I skip half the fucking movie because I could give a shit less about this sappy ass love story that is just there for Hollywood filler. Show me what happened. So
Mhm.
that's how I feel about the prequels. Like the prequels were But number 3, because you get to see the transformation from Anakin into Darth Vader and creating probably the most iconic movie villain in the world.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's the story is what grabbed me there. Other than that,
And everybody can say what they will about Obi-Wan, the Disney Plus series. I personally enjoyed it because there was a really awesome, I don't even know what I would call it, almost a chemistry between Obi-Wan and Anakin. Actually, like, it was the first time. Yeah, it was the first time that Hayden, I want to say Christensen, is that his name?
Yep.
Yes.
Hayden Christensen, he got to dress up as Darth Vader himself for the first time, like, on a movie
It's
set.
never happened. It's crazy.
Yeah, and he like that's super awesome for me as a Star Wars fan, watching the growing up with those and like watching that, seeing him in the costume, and then like the fight scene near the end where they break up, where his mask's broken open kind of, and you can kind of see part of his face, and he's talking to Obi-Wan, like knowing the history of all of the movies and then seeing that right there. There's so much extra there was so much extra emotion in that final scene for me, just because it was like, whoa, that's heavy. Like,
Right.
for those who haven't watched Obi-Wan, spoilers a little bit ahead, if you it's a great series. Some of the shit in it is kind of frustrating, but what's really interesting and really great to see there is you get to kind of see the closure of Obi-Wan finally, admitting that Anakin is dead. Like, finally getting that closure during a fight with Darth Vader. They have a pretty intense fight, and him and Darth Vader exchange some words, and he's like, and Darth Vader, and Anakin kind of gives it to him in that scene. He's like, you didn't kill Anakin Skywalker, I did. And he says that to Obi-Wan, and then they have like and Obi-Wan goes away, and it's a really powerful scene, and I enjoyed it very much because there's so much intense emotion there, like that Obi-Wan and Anakin, like holy shit, that's such a fucking it's crazy. So
I would love to see it, but I can't suck into Disney.
Yeah,
I can't.
Yeah, no. I if you ever get the chance to watch it any other way, I highly recommend it just because.
I will.
It's funny that you say that, Maddogg, because I've been hearing a lot of rumors about how much money Disney is just hemorrhaging at the moment.
Oh, they
and
are.
there's supposed to be a lot of their content is rumored to be going to other places, and potentially Disney Plus not being a thing altogether after too long.
It's not even so much. I mean, I could see that on the Disney Plus and the subscription side, but let's look at what they're having to do as a
dude. I was just gonna say something, and I didn't want to be negative Nancy when Chow was talking, but yeah, my stance on Disney is bad.
Yeah, no, I mean, and look, they're having to do shit to where, like, look at Disney World. They lost their self-governance. They lost their tax-free. They lost everything because they're just doing
it's so expensive to go to Disneyland now, I heard.
Dude, okay, so I went to Disney World in like 2012, and I mean, you're talking like $1,000 for there was 2 kids, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 adults. And it was like $1,000, and that was to visit one park. Right?
So
we got to go to the Magic Kingdom, which of course that's Disney. That Disneyland, Disney World is the same thing, right? That's where your Main Street is. That's where your castles are. That's where the log rides are. That's where everything that is Disney is. But if you want to go check out Epcot, which actually now is gone, or Magic Kingdom, or not Magic Kingdom, but the Animal Kingdom or whatever it was, dude, it was a whole nother separate fee.
Yeah, for Universal, like they broke it into Universal Studios and Disney World. They're not one and the same or something.
Well,
so they're different fees or something.
So Universal totally different on the other side of Orlando.
Oh, okay.
But what I'm saying is, like, so you walk up to the main entrance of Disney World, and then there's all these different, like, you can go to the. I always wanted growing up when they opened up the animal kingdom or whatever it was. You basically get to go in and go do a safari. Like, I always wanted to do that. And then Epcot, which is Epcot. To me, the Epcot Dome is more iconic to Disney than the fucking castle.
Absolutely.
But in order for you to, like, you can ride the monorail around and go to the different parks, but if you want to get off the fucking platform and into the park, you got to pay to enter that park. And then you got to
I always wanted to touch that building. Like, I always wanted to know what the texture of it feels like. I don't know why. Yeah. I just want to touch it.
And then like, so, like, the cool thing was, so when we went, like, we paid a little extra upgrade for a couple of us to get the fast pass, right? Which basically, like, I went on Space Mountain 6 times in the time it took one dude to move like 50 feet in this line.
Jesus.
Yeah, I heard it's fucking terrible now, man. Like, if you don't have the fast pass, you're fucked.
Fast pass is fucking people over now. The from what I've heard, the original line is moving faster now because so many people are upgrading.
Oh, I see. That's fucked, man.
Yeah, dude. So I'm just like, it's just the stupid shit that Disney.
They're gonna need to add a different package to it now. There's gonna be like a Fast Pass Plus now.
And Disney's gotten all
like a light speed.
And Disney's gotten all crazy now that they take your thumbprint when you come in the park. Like, you have to thumbprint that shit in some places.
No, see, fuck that shit. Like, that's and that's
FBI. Jesus,
for real.
Yeah, my problem with Disney too, man, is like all of that, and then like they're ruining the IP that and I can't speak for Star Wars. I haven't seen any of that shit. I haven't watched Star Wars for a long time, but just currently, like, they just don't have a good rep. They're ruining their own IP, like the Little Mermaids and all these live action movies. They're ruining their reputation there, but then they're just ruining other things that we grew up with that they didn't, create before. And God, it just bugs me.
Yeah,
no, Disney's really fucking up.
So that's why, like I said, I have Disney Plus. I refuse to pay for it. So someone else pays for it, and I steal their account, so that way the kids can watch
it's $2 and I still won't pay for it.
Right. And let me tell you this. I monitor what my kids watch on it.
Yeah.
They don't just
Yeah,
get
you
free range
should,
on it.
man. It's so
Like,
far left. It's disgusting, honestly.
Yeah.
like
Disney.
and not to get, politics involved, but that's the problem. The problem is every stage of our life, and this goes from sports to video games to fucking movies to fucking Disney
Exactly. We
has
shouldn't
gone
have to worry
politics.
about
Like,
the politics, but we do, and that's the
Mhm.
problem. Is like no one should have
absolutely.
to worry about politics being in their fucking Disney movies.
Right. And so like that's why honestly I stopped watching sports. 100%. Right? Growing up, huge Raiders fan. I've been an Oakland Raiders fan and an Oakland A's fan my entire fucking life.
Bro, I can relate. I stopped watching the NFL for a long time, and this year is the first year that I've come back.
I still don't want to, because guys, I watch sports to get away from the real world, not to be consumed into it.
I
They're
totally
on the
agree.
biggest
That's why I
platform,
stopped
though.
too.
They're fucking entertainers. At the core side of it, LeBron James is an athlete, but he's an entertainer at that level.
Yes, thank you.
That is what you get paid to do, is to entertain people and play a fucking game.
And
I
you
don't
get
wanna
paid millions to do it, so just stick
Yeah.
to the fucking script, like stay in your fucking lane and
Yep.
just entertain me.
Yep.
Amen. I mean, and that's just, but that's been my bitch with everything. I mean, Disney, like,
Ricky
they're
Gervais.
coming up and saying every movie or everything we put out is going to have a member of the LGBTQ community, and I have nothing against the community, but why do
Yeah,
we
for
have to?
sacrificing a story, I'm not with that. I think that's a horrible creative decision to do in any aspect.
It's the Panderverse.
You're-
I mean,
you're taking-
South
you're
Park
Yes,
is-
taking,
thank you. I was just going to bring that up again. It is the Panderverse. You guys should
taking
watch that if
original
you haven't seen it
stories
yet.
and throwing this weird splice on it. It's just unnecessary. You can just make a new original story that's based around that, and it would be probably really
Yeah,
good.
exactly. If you want to change the story, don't shove some other IP, skin over it. If you want to
Yeah,
make a new story, make a new story. That's fine.
you're ruining that icon. Whether it's fucking Little Mermaid, Star
Yeah,
Wars,
these staples of our
Batman.
childhood. You can't just change those things.
Yeah.
Like put it this way. Up until my parents' property flooded, and my parents, for you guys, my parents live at the base, basically Mill Creek Trailhead, just outside of Pinesdale,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, like,
Right.
my family's lived up there for years. In fact, the fires of 2000, we had to evacuate it
Mm-hmm.
when the fire brushed
Yeah,
out of
fire.
Project Canyon,
Oh yeah, I remember that.
right? So, like I growing up, like, didn't have all the Disney, or I didn't have internet, anything like that, but I used to go back through, and I had a VCR up until I don't know, probably 5 years ago, after I moved out here to Spokane, that I finally got rid of my VCR, because I had all the Disney movies on fucking
VHS?
VHS, and I used to love, like, I had the original Little Mermaid with the penis cover.
Hell yes.
I mean, I used to go through and watch the boner pop in the screen. Like,
Yeah,
I used to love going
Boner
through and
gate,
doing
man.
that shit, dude. Like the Aladdin with the good teenagers take off their clothes and shit like that. Like, that shit was just fucking funny, and it was just because someone got disgruntled. But now
Yeah,
it's
we live in a
all
world
on
of
fucking purpose.
oversensitivity, man. Everyone is so fucking sensitive about everything, and
Which
yeah,
doesn't
we're
make sense.
pandering we're pandering to all the wrong people that just want to be fucking sensitive about everything all the time, and
Right.
horseshoe shit into entertainment. It's just getting disgusting.
And the worst part about it is, I don't know about you guys, but I was raised on South Park.
Absolutely, yeah,
How are we
yeah.
offended by anything? I mean, the most famous episode is Tom Cruise and R. Kelly in a fucking closet, and we're telling him to get out of the closet. Like, we're literally calling him gay.
You're a
and-
gay fish.
And we used to just laugh at it. In fact, for a decade, people were walking around like, Tom Cruise, get out of the closet. Like, because it was fucking hilarious. And that's what we saw it as, was entertainment.
Exactly, and like especially in my opinion, like nothing is, nothing is, off limits when it comes to comedy, especially.
No.
I make that
if you
argument all
can't
the
laugh
time.
about everything, then we've just lost our way as a civilization. If we can't laugh about
Mhm.
everything, then we've lost our way.
I make that argument
No,
all the time.
absolutely.
I say if one thing is off limits to be made fun of, then everything needs to be off limits, because that's just
Exactly.
like Shane Gillis.
Absolutely.
Shane Gillis has a great bit in a comedy skit where he talks about he's like, you know, I don't know how to say this, but I'm just gonna say it. I think Donald Trump would be the funniest president to watch get shot.
Jesus
And
Christ.
there's always something funny. There's
Yeah, it's
some
dark humor. We
Exactly.
all have dark
Absolutely.
humor.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
I can 100% get behind jokes. I mean, fucking jokes are jokes. The part that I had a problem with is when you have these celebrities with followings that are sitting there like, I have thought an awful lot about blowing up the White House. Okay. We know where you stand.
Yeah.
Or even, and this one kind of stung me a little bit. Dude, Johnny Depp, love the guy, but he came out in one and he literally referenced Lincoln's assassination. He comes up and he's like, "It's been a long time since an actor shot a president,
Jesus
but
Christ.
I'm an entertainer." I'm like, "What the fuck are you saying, dude?
Yeah,
Like, come on."
I think
So
that
I mean,
I love comedy
and
because comedy at its like everybody's a target. That's what I think about with
absolutely,
comedy.
absolutely,
Everybody's a target. I'm sorry if that offends people, but that's
no,
get over it.
but
Everybody's a target
but
when it comes to comedy.
it's comedy at that point. You're not pandering and preaching to your following.
Exactly. I don't.
Yeah, and I think the whole
That's
plateau of all this is when Will Smith got on stage and smacked Chris Rock because he was offended over a joke. And
it was
we've all gone downhill from there. Now
it,
comedians are afraid to get on stage and have
dude.
an actual,
He was he,
show. It's fucking sad.
he wasn't
Actually,
even
people.
offended by the joke. He
Some of
wasn't
the
even offended by the joke. He was offended that his cheating ass ex-wife looked right at him like, "This is why we fucking broke
he
up and why
laughed
I
at
cheated on
first.
you."
He
And
laughed at
fucking yeah,
first.
Will Smith laughed.
He
And then he looks
laughed.
over and sees Jada and she's fucking giving
He
him the death
laughed.
glare like, this is why I cheated on you and this is why I humiliated you in a podcast.
I watched
Yeah,
that shit.
low key, I feel bad for Will Smith. Like
Oh yeah,
honestly,
100%.
I mean, I know he shouldn't have
Dude,
acted that way, but
the
like
No.
drama.
that guy's got
I
it hard, man. I couldn't imagine being in that situation. I think he has
oh,
like
and then
Munchausen
He's
syndrome or something like that. Like, why does
dude,
he
and
stick
then
around?
Well, he's
like
having
not
more
only
issues.
that,
He's having more issues.
not
One
on,
of his good friends just came out on a podcast and claimed that they walked in on someone fucking Will Smith in the ass. Like
Oh
this is
my God.
this is a real thing. That just happened not too long ago, but it was a real person coming out on the internet on a podcast in an interview saying that they walked in on Will Smith getting fucked.
getting
Dude, that
real.
is crazy, man. And I believe that because like every time I see video of him around Jada, he just seems like brainwashed, man. It's so weird.
Is,
She
dude.
just has her thumb over him and like writes books about her open relationship and like drags him to these interviews to just humiliate him and be like, this is why I
Yeah.
did this. And like she's profiting off of all these
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
disgusting
it's
things and he's
pretty
just going
fucked.
along with it. And I just can't
Well,
help
and
but
then
feel bad for this guy. Like, what's
that's
going on with him?
dude,
Yep.
that's why when the slap heard round the world happened, I was like, what the fuck, dude? Take a joke. And then I saw like the couple of different angles and I saw the way Jada reacted, and I'm like, you fucking bitch,
Dude,
dude.
Will
Like
Smith
it
laughed
Yeah, he's
at
definitely
first, and
being
100%.
it's on
manipulated.
camera. There is a fucking clear scene of him of
Yeah.
that joke being said, and Will Smith laughing like he thought it
Yeah.
was
Oh yeah,
funny.
he chuckled. He
Oh
fucking
no,
chuckled.
so the original video, yeah, it shows him laughing and then it goes back to Chris Rock and then all of a sudden he marches up and slaps him.
Yep.
But there's another video that was taken from behind them and it literally shows him laughing and then he makes eye contact with Jada and we all know Jada's face in that first clip. Like she 100% pushed that slap basically just by looking
So
at it
funny.
and saying, "You wonder why I did what I did. You
It's
don't do shit."
it's
Dude, it's
so
unbelievable that that happened. Honestly, like he needs to see a fucking therapist and get up like far away from that lady.
all
Yeah.
the shit
No,
that came
absolutely.
out after
100%.
that, like all the stuff that happened after that, like the I don't know if you guys know who Andrew Scholes is, but he has a great podcast, and his fucking little monologue in the beginning of his podcast went fucking viral, and it was him talking mad shit on fucking on Jada and Will Smith. Oh my god, it is one of the funniest things I've ever seen. Like he said, he's like,
Yeah.
so next time before you decide to slap a comedian in the face, think about what might happen. Like, like, dude, you just open your, and that's the thing is like you do that thinking what you're making some kind of a statement, but you honestly just made everything so much worse on yourself. Like
Oh,
Yep.
the
Big
ridicule that he got for the next 6 months, and people still make fun of him for that shit. Like, dude,
He
Dude,
got canceled overnight, dude. He
Yep.
went from like everyone's like he was a household name that everyone just cherished and adored,
World-renowned actor.
and now everyone just hates his ass.
yep.
Well, and not only that, like, dude, the guy made statements in every industry he touched. Look at it. He was a successful rapper without having to drop a cuss word. Like that is
Yeah, a lot of people
unheard of
forget
in
about
our
that, dude.
generation.
Yep.
I was
Like,
a huge
our
fan
gen-
of his music when I was a kid, honestly.
Yeah,
It was cheesy
yeah,
as
and
fuck, but
he
I loved it. I ate that shit up.
From DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince all the way up to the Millennium album and everything. He never once dropped a cuss word. And even Eminem had to come out in one of his most famous songs.
Yeah, I remember.
He literally says, Will Smith don't gonna cuss in his raps to sell records. Well, I do. So fuck him and fuck you too.
Yeah, I
Like,
remember that. It's funny. Like one of my core, this is gonna sound super cheesy, but I'll share this with everybody. One of my core childhood memories is singing the intro to the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, like the entire school bus. Like a couple people started singing it or whatever, and then it was so popular at the time that like everyone on the school bus just started chiming in or
Singing.
whatever and singing along.
Yeah.
It was just it's a
Absolutely.
core childhood memory now.
Fresh
it
Prince
really
is-
is. And
it
you know,
was
and
a
like I
huge
said,
show.
we grew up after the day and age. Well, and I mean, honestly, Joe, you were kind of there at the tail end in the day and age of the bring in of like NWA and the gangster rap and what really launched.
Oh yeah, dude, I remember
Right?
that very
But
vividly.
that sculpted rap music for us, right? Now all of a sudden this is what it had to do. And at the same time, Will Smith made millions on his music without having to do it. And I don't know. He's not the same guy as he was, and it's sad to see it because he was an icon.
Yeah, he was like a what do they say, like a triple threat. He like did it all. Like every movie that he was in, he had a hand in the soundtrack, like Wild Wild West and all those cheesy movies that he was in. Like he was always, or Men in Black, and you know, he was always on the soundtrack. And yeah, man, it's just really sad to see someone like that kind of lose their way. Like even like Tom Cruise, when I figured out he was a part of Scientology, like I lost all respect for the guy, and it kind of hit me hard. I was like, oh my god, this guy's a weirdo.
Yeah, dude. And I mean, have you ever seen any of like I don't know if you remember the big drama that happened when they were making, I think it was a Mission Impossible movie. He caught one of the crew workers on set not wearing a mask. Dude, the
You're cutting in
berating-
and
wearing a
out,
mask.
Chow.
Yeah, you're cutting in pretty good, but I know what you're talking about. When he freaked out because some dude
that
on
better?
cast wasn't fucking wearing a mask or something.
Can you guys hear me better now?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
yeah,
he's a weirdo, man.
Dude, but it was the same thing I mentioned. I was
Huge
talking.
name though, so he's trying to set a standard, which I get. Like
Absolutely.
there's,
Like, and
there's
I was
rules
just
in
gonna
place.
say,
We have to follow them.
Well,
absolutely.
I get that.
He was
but
harsh,
there are
though.
ways. There
Yeah,
are
well,
ways
that's
to
the
do
thing.
it.
It's
and-
like, well, part of Scientology, and like this is something I've heard. Can you guys hear me better now?
Yeah, you're good, man.
Okay. Part of some of the things I've heard about Scientology are like, part of it is like a humiliation factor. Like it's something that they like teach inside of it is like something that I've heard is like when you go to like discipline someone, you like really discipline them and like embarrass the shit out of them. It's like something they like
Mhm.
do in Scientology.
I mean,
Some weird.
Yeah, it's essentially like you have to be initiated, and that's like a part of the initiation into it. And I think that transfers over. Like they feel like they need to initiate everybody
Mhm.
that makes a mistake around them, sort of thing.
Yeah, and you know, I'm not gonna take away from Tom Cruise's movies because there's a few of them that I love and I will always
Yeah.
love them.
absolutely.
I think
Absolutely.
and I
Great
respect
actor.
I respect his drive to do his own stunts even in his older age that he's in. I think
Right.
I think the guy's an incredible human being, but I think he's a wacky. I think he's a wacky dude.
Yeah, he's a wacky. He's a wacky. And I'll still watch his movies. It's not to the point where like I've boycotted him or anything.
Yeah.
It's just like when I found that out about him and I started learning about Scientology, I was like, why? Like I used to look up to
Yeah.
you, and now I can only just watch your movies and just try to force
Well,
myself to forget the weirdness that you do.
Well, and it's funny because
The
like
fucking-
I feel the exact same way about Mark Wahlberg, and I hate this because I love Mark Wahlberg's movies.
Don't tell me what's wrong with Mark.
Dude,
I love Mark Wahlberg.
I'll
What's wrong
never-
with him?
I'll never forget watching this one episode on TV of Wahlburgers on this. It's a TV show based on his brother's restaurant. They have this burger.
Yeah,
restaurant.
I remember.
Yeah,
I didn't
and-
watch it though.
And there's this episode where Mark comes down to like do some like shit with his brother, like some advertising stuff. And just the way that Mark handles himself when he's not acting like someone else. He's such a fucking D-bag, man. Like the way he was
I
treating his
see.
brother and the way he just walked in and he was like immediately the boss in charge telling everybody what to do. This wasn't good enough. I'm going to talk louder than you because I'm in charge. Like he's such a D-bag. Like if I'd ran into this guy in real life and he was acting like that, I'd want to punch him in his fucking mouth. Like there's no other way for me to explain that. And it irritates me because I love his movies and he's such a great actor. But God, watching him in real life interact with his own family made me not like the guy. And every time I see his face, I can't help but remember that episode of Wahlburgers.
Yeah,
I hear
man,
some
like,
pretty,
sounds
like,
like he's
bad
really
stories
out of
about
touch.
Like,
Well, that's the thing is like I was trying to say this earlier when we were talking about Disney and stuff. Ricky Gervais, I don't know, I'm sure you guys have seen it. That fucking speech he does. I think
At
during the
the
Oscars.
fucking was it? No, it was the
Is it
Golden Globe.
Oh, the Golden Globe. Yeah, his Golden
Golden
Globe
Globes, and he's
speech.
like,
He's
all,
like,
"Just
don't
shut
use
the
this.
fuck
Yeah,
up."
he's like, don't use this. Don't use getting your award as some platform to make some little
Dude,
political speech.
huge.
Get up here, accept your award, and get the fuck out of here. None of you
Yeah.
are in touch with what's actually happening in reality. Most of you have gone to school less time than
Dude.
Greta Thunberg. So don't say
talking about
anything.
Ricky Gervais?
Yeah, Ricky Gervais. Yeah,
dude.
He,
Dude,
he actually has a
that
special coming out
entire-
on the 25th.
good.
I
I love
I
him.
fucking love that guy. I
Yeah.
love that guy. And that entire Golden Globe
Speech. That's
holy shit,
it's
dude.
one of the
The
best
whole
speeches.
monologue.
Yeah, he
I
just
like-
Yeah,
ripped
it's one of the
everybody.
best.
And the best
Like,
part
and
is
he's like,
you could see so many famous actors, like some of the older actors and
Tom
some of the
Hanks.
older
Dude,
directors.
Tom Hanks,
They're sitting there.
Spielberg.
Yeah, they're sitting there so pissed off, all grumpy face, staring at him like, "Who the hell are you?" Like just all mad.
Yeah.
Dude, it was so funny. I was
It
laughing
was-
the entire time. I was like, "Thank you, Ricky, for getting up
Yep.
there and ripping them all one and telling them all what they need to hear.
Dude,
They are
the
out of
funniest-
touch."
the funniest ones when he threw Epstein in on it.
Oh yeah,
And-
I know
and
you
he's
guys are all
he's
friends.
Yeah, he's all, oh yeah, like you're going out to Epstein's Island, and everyone's like, oh, and he goes, shut up, he's your friend, not mine.
Yeah.
Like he just called everyone out, and it was fucking hilarious. Absolutely one of the best things I've ever seen.
He called out
Fucking
Apple.
love
That,
Ricky
that was one of the
Gervais.
updates.
He called out Apple in the same
Yeah.
he called out a lot of people in that speech. And honestly, because he kept saying it too. He's like I cannot believe they asked me to come back here again.
Yep.
Yeah, like yeah.
Yeah, and then he's all, don't worry, this is the last.
Mhm.
This is
Yeah.
and dude, it was amazing because
Yep.
it literally, what he said is what all of us commoners, so to speak, quote unquote,
The
right?
common
are
peasants.
thinking.
The
Like,
common
yeah,
peasants.
this is what the peasants were thinking at the signing of the Magna Carta, and this is what the peasants are thinking right now. Is like, shut the fuck up, go up, do your shit, get paid for it, and disappear. No one cares.
Yeah. No, I think that a lot of these guys and that's always the thing is like you see all these people with all this money and it's like I've come to this realization a lot myself lately. It's like yeah, it would be really nice to have all that stuff. But at the same time, if I can just go to the grocery store without worrying about how much it costs or, go to a restaurant without looking at the prices, I'm a happy dude. So
Yeah.
having all that money, I just feel like there's so many of those guys that are so out of touch with reality and what's actually happening in the world. Like you don't need to worry about shit no more. I get that. But
Dude, I experience it all the time, like in my line of work.
Oh, I bet, Joe.
Doing vacation rentals, and especially like here in Montana, we're having a literal housing crisis, and these rich people are just buying all these houses up at like 7% interest rates and just
Yep.
not even giving a fuck, like second and third mortgages.
Yep.
And here I am cleaning these places, for people that don't even live in the state, and they occasionally have people stay in them as a vacation rental and stuff. And
Yeah.
I just can't believe it, man.
Dude, it's
That was a rant.
happening.
Sorry.
No,
No,
it's
it's
true. It's
It's valid.
true.
let me tell you this one, right? And it's happening at the commercial level too, right? So right, I work for a trampoline park. I'm a general manager for a trampoline park out here in Spokane, and we had a location in Missoula.
Yeah.
In fact, during the 2020 shutdown, I went there and helped them reopen because they only had like 5 people come back,
I didn't know
including
Flying
management.
Squirrel in Missoula closed.
Yeah, done,
Oh.
gone.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
so
think there's somebody else there now, but I don't know what they do.
it's
Yeah, it's
Get Air.
literally
It's the
another
same
train
thing.
place.
It is. It 100% is. So the thing about it is, right? So the building that they're in with grocery outlet and everything like that got purchased by a sight unseen Californian fucking landlord,
Happens a
and they
lot.
doubled the rent price. They doubled the rent price.
Fucking Christ.
That's exactly what happened.
That's
I can't give any details. I can just tell you that a California company purchased that building and doubled the rent price.
See, and that sucks because because it's not all people. It's not all those people coming from California that have bad intentions. Like, I can tell you
Right, okay.
personally. Like, I have a good friend who is managing a nursery who was bought by some people who came from California, and it's a little rough changeover, but they're doing great, and they haven't
Well,
changed the business. Like, that's the thing, is they're leaving the business the way it is, and
okay.
they're keeping it running. You know what I mean?
So Chowder, you know me probably better than anyone here on this show, and that's just because we have quite a
Yeah.
bit of history.
Yeah.
Okay, where am I from?
Oh, I know where you're from.
Okay, I was born in California. My family is from California.
So was
Most people around here are from California
Mhm.
now. Like
Yep.
a
But
lot of people are.
It's true.
but like
Yep.
my brother owns a farm up on top of the Sunset Bench. Like we moved to Montana and we assimilated to the culture. We didn't leave California because we wanted to. We left California because my mom's ex-husband took my brother and sister to Montana, and so it was, do we stay in California or do I get to know my brother and sister? So that was why we moved. But and at this point, I was born in California, but I'm a Montanan at heart.
See, the
Oh,
thing
for sure.
is like I've lived all around the United States, and every state has another state that they hate. Like, oh, all these, New Yorkers are coming in.
Yeah.
If you, live in
Yeah,
fucking Jersey or whatever,
right.
if you live in
Absolutely.
West Virginia, like all these fucking Virginians are coming over here. It's every state just has a state that they hate. And California is so vast, and I've been to every part of California, and it's all different. Every fucking part, like Southern California compared to Northern California,
That's
is
the
so
Absolutely.
Way
much
different.
different. The people are
Absolutely.
different, the scenery is different, like everything is
Yeah.
different. And there's some real podunk parts of California too,
Oh yeah.
Yep.
where like
Yep.
everyone just
Live
bundles
there.
all these Californians into like city slickers when most Californians don't live in a city.
Oh yeah. No,
No,
it's
no.
I
But
find it funny because like a lot of people say that, and like I do like when I'm driving through town I'll do the same thing, and it does happen to me occasionally where like I'll be going through town and someone's driving really slow through town, and I'll look at their plate and I'll see a California
Cali
plate,
plate.
and I'm like, God damn it. Like it just
Dude, I saw
happens to
a
me every once
Florida
in a while.
one, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
The
Also
weirdest
driving like an asshole
The
though.
weirdest one I've seen in Montana was I got caught behind a guy that had a Vermont plate, and he was driving hella slow, and I was like, dude, you're way far away from home. What the fuck are you doing here?
Yeah, I think we all burn out. Like, I don't really so much care about people moving here because we do need that, and we also need the
Yes,
tourists. But
hmm
the tourists
exactly.
really kind of get on my nerves the most, because we've have a lot of movies filmed here and shit, and
Yep.
you can't
Mhm.
drive through Darby without people stopping at the ranch for the
Take the
Yellowstone
pictures.
TV show
They
or
took the
whatever.
sign down.
Mhm.
They took the sign down.
Thank
My
God.
God,
Yeah,
it's
Dude,
it's just it's overwhelming sometimes, and like I'm surprised they were
The
letting
show got
anyone
canceled.
do it at all.
yeah, they took the sign down, thank God. But yeah, that was a huge issue. The place where I work, the attorney for the school district I work for, she lives down there right next to where that ranch is, and she used to deal with that all the time, trying to come into town to come to work, is she'd have to fucking honk at people because people are stopping in the middle of the road to take pictures of the fucking Yellowstone Ranch sign. Like, I understand. I like, and like Joe said, I'm all for, it's good for our community and our small town for the tourists to come through and all that shit. But like Joe said, it gets irritating because you got people doing that shit. You got people going up to places like Painted Rocks and trashing the place and leaving garbage
Yes,
everywhere.
a lot of them are
I
rude
can't-
as fuck.
I can't, and people come in and they're rude. That's the other thing. Like, you come to our town and you come into one of our little stores and you treat our people like shit. Fuck you. Like, that's how I feel
But
about
the
it.
thing is
110%.
a lot of them like do own houses here, so they consider themselves a resident because they have a third house here in Montana. Like I know,
You're a snowbird.
literally three of the 4 vacation rentals that I clean are for people that live out of state and they only come here in the summertime or in the springtime or whatever. So in their minds, they're like, oh, I bought a house here. I can act like a fucking local, even though we don't even act like that. We're very respectful of nature and.
Oh, that's what Montana is, right? I started watching HBO has it. It's called Yellowstone Wardens, and so like you guys remember when there was the huge thing of like Lone Star Law and Northwoods Law, and it was like the sheriffs or conservation officers dealing with kind of the crime in certain areas.
Yeah.
So Yellowstone Wardens is the Montana Fish, Wildlife, and Parks
Sick.
throughout the entire state.
Sick. I want to watch that shit.
And it is fucking, I mean, it deals with the hunting, and but it deals with what Montana is at its core.
Yep.
It is an outdoorsman's paradise.
Well, there's so
Absolutely.
many, we have so many different issues with these out-of-state hunters coming in. Like, I dealt with this issue right outside my own house. I got a field, and Joe, you know where my house is. You know what it looks like. I'm literally right next to a gigantic hayfield. We get herds of elk in there all the time. We got people carrying guns in that field, surrounded by houses, getting ready to fire a rifle. Okay, that's where our problem comes in. That's what I get irritated about. Every year, there's a story of some out-of-state hunter doing something monumentally stupid. Every single
They
year.
just think this is like the wild, wild west or something.
Yep.
And we're all just out here shooting our guns out on our porches and, shooting all the animals that we see. You know what I mean? It's fucking crazy to me. I know
Couldn't
that
be farther from the truth. It's crazy.
there's literally hundreds of elk that live over there, dude. I almost got trampled by them. I was riding my bike. Me and Noel were both riding our bikes over there. And we got right past your road and they just came running in front of us and just literally 100 of them just right in front of us. It was the coolest thing. I have it on video.
That's super
dude,
awesome. And that's the thing is, like, I can appreciate both sides. I love watching the elk out the window, and I love seeing them do their thing, and I love observing them, but I also love eating the meat, and I respect the culture of the hunt of hunting around here. It's such a deep embedded culture.
It is.
Yeah,
it
we
is.
respect the animals.
That's right. It comes down to, and this is so bizarre for me to say because I live in Washington now, where it's totally different culture. But I'm in Spokane, so I'm damn near Idaho. Like, so I have a little bit of mix of both. But no, absolutely, there's always been this respect for what nature gives. It's like, and that's how I've thought about it in all of them. I remember when I was in high school, there was a girl who unfortunately drowned. I actually responded because I was a cadet firefighter on the Corvallis Volunteer Fire Department. Responded to a water rescue where just upriver or downriver from the Woodside Bridge, there was a log jam, and they were floating the river on an air mattress, and the air mattress got punctured by the log jam, and she got sucked under. And her friends were physically ripping her hair out, trying to pull her out of this log jam.
Oh my God.
And unfortunately, she drowned. And then there was a time where between Woodside and the new Veterans Memorial Bridge, kind of in that, like near the Blodgett Park and everything like that, a logjam. Someone went, instead of going around the eddy that was designed to keep people safe, they decided to take them and their family on rafts or on tubes over it, and like a 2-year-old was drowned. Here's the thing, people call me heartless for this one, but play stupid games and win stupid prizes. You must always respect Mother Nature, because Mother Nature doesn't give a fuck about you.
Well, but the people
fuck around and find out. I mean, it's sad for the child that
Absolutely.
the parents weren't
Tragedy,
smart enough to make the right decisions. But it's just like, if you fuck around here and you don't respect nature, like you're gonna find out real fast.
Well,
every year in summer, there's those stories about people like walking up to the elk or the moose, and you're like, dude, you're asking for a hoof in the fucking throat,
Or just
bro.
getting lost. You know how many tourists get lost every single year? They drive up an old logging road and just drive up the Skalkaho. They hear about the Skalkaho Falls and make a wrong turn
Yep.
up in the fucking mountains, and they have
Yeah.
no idea how to get out. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, they
no,
didn't, and you know, a
100%.
lot of these people didn't grow up around this shit like we did. You know, like
Right.
I grew up going
I
hiking
get
all the
it, but
time,
like,
and
how
like,
long do you have to drive before you're like, oh, maybe we should just turn around
Turn
because we
back.
don't know where the fuck we're going?
listen,
Right.
man,
Maybe
listen,
let's get a map.
I'm not gonna mention names, but I had to explain to a almost 40-year-old adult what all-wheel drive means and what four-wheel low and four-wheel high do in their car. So it is not
Yep.
hard. It is not
Hey,
hard
to
for
be
me to
fair,
believe. It is not hard for me to
I don't know
believe
what the
out.
high and low is.
It's just gear ratios. It's literally just gear
Yeah,
ratios.
really, and
People
really,
think
it
that
comes
four-wheel
down to
drive means four-wheel stop as well, man. It's
I mean,
crazy.
I
That's
I
my
don't.
favorite one.
It does
That's
not
my
surprise
favorite
me
one.
because how many every single year it as Montanans, all four of us can say it is a local thing. It is a thing every year that we do. Every summer we wait for the videos of the buffalo smacking the tourists in the park. It is a thing that happens
Yep.
every single year.
I know one of them.
Exactly.
Dude,
Exactly.
okay, you ask me I think every 10th season, at least Yellowstone and Glacier need to shut their gates and not let anyone in.
I think it should be
Because
every
give
other
nature,
year.
Fuck it, dude.
there
Let
you
them
go.
die. We'll take their money. Fuck it.
Like, because at this point, dude,
We
the
need that
problem
money,
is
bro.
we need that money,
Yeah.
but at the same time, we're sitting here touting about what makes Montana so great, and it's the respect for nature, right? It is nature. So why not give nature a chance, dude? That's when they had that flooding that was ripping buildings out
Dude, yeah,
down
like
through the Yellowstone. Like they shut the park down, and I was like, good. Fucking
I-
nature
But
needs to
every
correct
like,
it.
ironically,
the tourist money. Go ahead,
sorry, go
Jost.
ahead.
Oh, the tourist money is
Oh,
so needed, but I see videos of people pissing in Old Faithful and shit, and that's when I'm like, you know
Yeah.
what, man? I wish sometimes, like, I like maybe even if it was every other year, like the tourist money is so needed, but sometimes I just, my God, I get so mad when I see that stuff. Like, can you not just be a decent human and just go somewhere and enjoy looking at something? You have to fuck it up.
Yeah. You're gonna
yeah, but like,
fucking eat it,
unfortunately, like
right?
the hunting of like, like these people that come in for trophy hunting and they go on these guided hunts, essentially, like
Ugh,
in helicopters around here, like all those tens of thousands of dollars go right
Mhm.
back into the conservation of
Yep.
that particular animal, ironically.
Yep.
No, it's
That's
so
Yeah.
and
it's such
those
a
I
There
just
is
system.
some good with that.
like
It's
that.
weird, yeah. Even in Africa, that's how it works. Like you can go
Yep.
like shoot an elephant on a guided hunt, but it's like all that money is funded to like
My
conserve that animal. It's weird.
I have a
But
family
at the
member
same time,
I have a family
at,
member that
at-
went to Africa and got to uh uh this is how it works from what I understood. He went to Africa, he got to go on a guided hunt for a water buffalo, but as an outsider, he doesn't get to keep anything that's killed. His
Well, how
kill
could you? You
his
would have
kill
to fly it all back.
well, exactly. His kill goes to the tribe. Everything that he kills
Yeah.
goes to a local tribe there. So all the meat gets used, the hide, all that stuff, but he gets to do the local hunt and he pays the money and the money goes into the
Yeah, and
conservation
the
and all
money
the stuff.
actually,
Yeah,
to
there is
stop
some good with
poachers
that.
because poaching is a big thing there.
Yep, exactly. And so like,
There is some
as
good.
much
It's
as
weird.
much as it's kind of shitty to see sometimes it also does some good. There is some good that comes out of it.
Yeah.
so,
Yeah, and back to the hunting thing, like all the, out of staters think that we just do it for sport and we just like to take the
Yeah.
life of an innocent animal. Like I used to hunt pretty heavily when I was younger. I don't have the time for it now or even really the will to do it, but I never got any joy out of taking the life of an animal. And
life.
anyone,
I,
yeah, like,
I-
and like honestly, that's just the trait, like that's an early trait of a psychopath, in my opinion. If you just want to kill
Yep.
something for fun, in my
Right.
opinion, that's
no,
weird.
absolutely. There was never, to me, hunting was never the enjoyment of the kill. It was the enjoyment of the hunt, the actual process of going out and doing it, and then the
Yeah, the
enjoyment
tradition.
knowing,
Yeah, tradition.
and then the enjoyment knowing that, hey, I went out and rather than going to the supermarket where someone worked their ass off to get my food to me, I went out and got my own food. It's that primal
Exactly.
state.
And that's when I hunted. Like I don't know if you guys I don't know if I ever said this, but I used to live off the grid out in Clinton, Montana, like way up in the mountains. We had to dig our own well. When we first lived there, we only had an outhouse. Our house ran off of a generator. We had 7 car batteries lined up, hooked up to an inverter to power the house and everything. But yeah, we had 27 acres up there, and I used to hunt all the time, and I can't tell you like the satisfaction, I would get, just from killing a grouse. And because we were so poor, like we were so poor growing up,
And
like
that's the
that
thing.
satisfaction of knowing that I contributed and,
And that's the thing is like
helped the family out.
a lot of people in Montana don't hunt for sport. They hunt out of necessity. I know a
Yeah.
person who feeds his family mostly on meat that he hunts every year. And that's
Yeah,
how he saves his money, and that's
100.
a common thing out here. And that's what a lot of people don't understand is that it is out here not only is it, tradition and culture, but for a lot of people it's
It's a
necessity.
lifestyle.
It's necessity.
Absolutely. We needed that meat. We like asked Noelle when we went to job corps together, and she ended up moving in with me and my parents. We've been together forever, but she was like 16, and I was so scared driving her up this mountain because we picked her up at the Greyhound, and like it was up this like scary fucking mountain off the grid. Like we had to plow this mountain road 3 miles to get up to our house or whatever. So it was really spooky. And she was from Ogden, Utah, which is kind of a city or whatever.
Yeah, there's
But
a military base there.
yeah, yeah. Anyway, that was just a way different time in my life. But I honestly miss living off the grid. That was some of the best. I don't know where I was going with all that, but that was a
Well, I mean, it's just
You
you're talking about
we lived
hunting.
off the deer meat. We literally needed it.
Yeah,
Like
well, that's the
Yeah.
thing is always
Noelle dug it. Like she hadn't had a lot of deer meat, but I was getting pretty burned out on it. Like I would always complain. She's like, "This is pretty good. What do you mean?" Like we had so many clever ways of making deer because we relied on it so heavily. Like we knew how to make
Yep.
deer in so many different ways.
well,
But
and that's the
God,
thing is like,
I hate deer now.
and yeah, and that's the thing is like, a lot of people, especially with the way our economy is going, our housing market is, a lot of people are hunting out of necessity.
Yep, cut out.
There this year,
Cutting out, Joe.
oh, is that better?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
There we go.
A lot of people are
Shut up,
hunting out of necessity because they need to go get an elk and get it cut up and put it in the freezer because that's their meat for the next few months. Like, that's just what it is. And so, yeah, hunting has always been something that I respect a whole lot. I wish more people, like Tiffany isn't a huge fan of deer meat or elk meat. I'm like the only person who I really enjoy eating those things, but it's just
Mhm.
not worth it for me by myself to go kill a whole deer to eat by myself because
Right.
it's just me eating it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I
we
mean,
have a deep
also,
freeze,
have
and
you
that
seen
was
the
always
prices
like
of meat?
the goal was to fill the freezer, I guess,
Yep.
so to
Yeah,
speak.
that was a successful year, right? Growing up,
Exactly. Yeah, if we
that was
all
a
got one, it
successful.
would last longer than the year, and so like we would still have some left over before the next time.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, dude. It was filling the freezer. Is what it's. That was how you knew it was a successful year. Was how full your freezer is.
Yep.
Guys, I
And
was so fucking poor as a kid.
I
dude,
I'm grateful
man,
that
I
I did
know it.
not.
I get it.
I was kind of a spoiled kid when I was growing up. My dad had a construction company when I was younger, so we were rolling in dough. I went with
Bro, I've melted snow to bathe.
dude. I went with my dad. See, and I had a completely different childhood experience. I rode with my dad to
Some
go.
backwoods hillbilly shit, man.
I rode with my dad to go buy a brand new forklift. He paid for it, and we drove it home, or put it on a trailer and took it home.
Nice.
Yeah, so like,
Right, but,
and that's
but
and that's the thing, like, but Montana is, there's a majority of people are, it's not that a majority of people are super duper poor, but we have a lot of poor people here who hunt. It's just what it is.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's a state where we have grown to be comfortable below the national poverty level.
Yeah.
It's not to say that you're dirt ass poor, but you start realizing the different necessities. And hey, you know what? If I don't have to go buy a fucking £5 or a $5 pound of hamburger, and I can
Yep.
do something that not only gets me out into Mother Nature and lets me experience what our ancestors did, or what the state or what the environment was intended for, but also I can not have to buy some processed. God knows, dude. I try not to buy hamburger from the stores anymore because it may say like USDA approved, but half the shit you can buy in a store, dude, unless it was raised and butchered in America, it's coming from somewhere where it's just not the best. So that's like usually, like I said, my brother has a farm outside Stevensville, and when he has a cow ready, me and my mom go half in on it. But I know where that cow was raised. I know what that cow is eating.
Yeah,
And
we did that every year. Me and my parents would split one.
Yeah, and he only that's why it's been a couple years since I've been able to get one. He only
Grass
raises
fed
like
is so
6.
good, man.
Dude, absolutely. But he only raises like 6 cow at a time. Like he doesn't do the mass market because that's not his main gig. He does it
raising
to
cows are expensive.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And then to make sure that it's at the proper weight to actually be worth a damn. And like I said, it's the one we did was about 5 years old before he was finally like, all right, guys, I'm ready to let this one go.
I
And
found
like I
that
said,
like working on the ranch, it's more like not so much expensive to raise cows, but it's very time consuming because they're fucking assholes.
yeah.
Like they're always getting out. You're always replacing fences. You
Yep.
always got to go track the motherfuckers
Very
down.
true. Yes.
Sneaky little bastards.
And yeah.
Sneaky little
And
bastards.
I mean, depending on where you're raising them, then you got to worry about predators and so yeah, there's a lot that goes into our food.
Dude, I'll never work on a ranch again.
Yeah. Ditto. Did that for
I've shoveled shit. I've fucking bucked bales.
Yep.
Like delivering
Yep.
hay was one of the worst jobs I ever did because like it was fine loading it on, to the trailer. That wasn't a big deal, but it would never fail. We would get somewhere to drop off the hay, to unload it, and it was always in some shitty spot where we couldn't back our trailer right in. We had to literally hike fucking hay bales over to this fucking barn that was in bumfuck nowhere.
Dude.
God, I hated that job.
Yep. I remember doing that. I remember because we had horses up on the property outside Pinesdale. So we used to do every summer. There was a guy, I remember him by the name of Lowell, but he was this old rancher, had hundreds of acres of fucking alfalfa. That was there south of town, almost right across golf course road from like Bonanza Land.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I know he sold out a lot of it, but we would go and get 10 ton a summer just to get us through the year.
Yeah,
And,
you do need a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I remember one time I went up to Missoula, got a little too shits to the wind underage, and ended up, I mean, we're talking so bad that when I woke up the next morning, like I tried to take a sip of water and it caused me to vomit.
Jeez.
And my dad was like, well, guess what? Come on, let's go. And I'm like, dude, I can't even move. He goes, fine, fuck you. And took off and loaded up the hay. Then he backed the trailer up to basically we had carports, but backed it up to the barn basically. And then he goes, all right, it's all you. And he made me unload it. Like, dude, I remember, field
Bro,
picking.
I used to have to split all the wood.
Yeah.
I used to have to
Yep.
do all that shit, man. I know where you're coming from.
And it's a level of something you just don't see anymore. And I may not live in the woods anymore, but it's still
We still know how to
same.
do shit, you know what I mean? If
Yeah,
something breaks,
absolutely.
we'll fix it. If like it's the Montana way, if you don't know how to take care of yourself, then
Right, absolutely.
what are you?
I don't take my cars in for oil changes. I don't take my cars in for brake jobs. I don't do any of that shit because I grew up learning how to do that stuff.
Right. And like I'll still do some of those things out of convenience. Like I won't lie, I won't sit here and be the, say that I repair my car every single time, but just like I hate to keep referencing that South Park episode or whatever where no one knows how to do shit anymore, but like it seems so relatable that like
It's true.
we just like we don't live in an upcycled world anymore. Like something breaks, people just replace it. They don't try to fix it themselves. They just don't want to even give it the thought. They're like, "Oh, I don't know how and I don't even want to try. I'll just buy a new one." Or it's just like just fix the motherfucker or like try to fix it. You don't need a repairman. You don't, just learn how to do some damn things.
I still believe,
especially when you can damn near get a medical degree on YouTube.
Absolutely. I took personally for my computer science IT certifications, you can get on Harvard's website and get tons of computer science information for 100% free. They're not charging you for the information and the curriculum. They're charging you for the degree. They don't care. You can have all the information for free. They know it's the world of digital, like it's going to get out anyway. You're paying for a degree. So if you want to actually learn things, there's no excuse not to these days. If you want to, you can literally, even here in Missoula, if you want to sit in, you can sit in on every single class. you just won't get the credits, for the degree. But you
Yep.
can actually sit in and
Right.
learn and do whatever you want. They do not care.
No, I
Yep.
I still fully believe that Wall-E wasn't just a great movie, but a prophecy for humankind.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
But I
Yeah,
think
no one wants to do fucking anything.
I think I got everything out I needed to get out. I talked about the games I'm playing and following. We had a good conversation about life in general and movies and all
Sure
the good
did.
stuff. Uh,
I feel
Dude.
better.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Dude,
Anybody else got anything interesting?
Dear
before we hop off?
Diary.
Dear Diary. Let's do a midweek episode called Dear Diary where we just bitch. But
Wednesdays
no,
for 30 minutes, everybody gets, or Wednesdays for 40 minutes, everybody gets 10 minutes to bitch.
It's just gonna turn into therapy.
I love it.
Right.
I mean, dude, I will say this, Chowder. I know I told you this. I saw something when I first, because I was talking to Chowder about doing this whole podcast for a while. I've been wanting to do a podcast for years. One of the things that I saw, and you guys might hear, my 5-year-old decided to come in, and he's playing with some of my Legos right now here in the studio. But one of the memes I saw one time was when women need help, they go and get a therapist, and when men need help, they go and start a podcast.
Yeah, it's hard. Men kind of have it hard. I don't want to open up another can of worms, man, but we live in a weird time to be men. Like, it's
Yeah.
hard to not just come across as creepy for being a nice guy. It's a weird time.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's very weird.
I've
I don't want to.
honestly
Maybe
felt
we'll
that
save
way.
this for another podcast. But men have it weird these days. That's my
We
opinion.
We do.
I will agree.
You have to make like $100K a year. Aside, we don't have it so bad in Montana, and I'm glad I've been married for most of my life. But some of these single guys out there, man, they got it rough.
Yeah, I see the stuff on social medias, and I kind of just I shiver for the next generation. I don't know what they're gonna have to go through.
I'm so glad I
Yeah.
don't have to date, dude. Oh my god.
Yeah, I can imagine dating post-COVID, man.
Tell me about it. Tell me about it.
Post-COVID would be weird.
If I was
Oh,
I was
God.
dating right now, I think I would just call it a day.
Just give up.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely. At this point, yeah, if I wasn't married to my wife, like I didn't have my kids, like I would just sit here and game and stream
Just being a
and
whole.
record.
Yeah.
Like, that's all I would do, because there's no incentive anymore. And I've been saying this for so long. Like I remember growing up, and one of the things that I measured, and dude, my family wasn't able to buy we didn't buy our first house until 2008. And we bought a modular home to go on a fucking piece of property.
Yeah.
So like, but nowadays, like the dream of home ownership means nothing.
Yeah, right now at 7%, man, that's insane.
Well, okay, outside of that, I mean, yeah, I can 100% see that. And I got lucky with buying this house. I'm locked in at like 3.9 or something like that, or even lower. But like, I'm on a locked fixed rate for 30 years. But even when I was buying this house in 2019, like a lot of people I was seeing all over, like, why buy? Why buy? There's no reason to. I can make a phone call. I have family members that refuse to buy because they can make a phone call and someone comes and fixes everything for them at no cost. Whereas
that's kind of where I'm at, though, but it's for different reasons too.
No, absolutely, but then at the same time, I'm like, you know what? I just want to like rip the frame of this window out, cover it with a piece of plywood, and throw up some soundproofing foam, and I do it.
Yeah, there is definitely some pros and some cons, and it is definitely a decision that you should not take lightly, for sure.
No,
you know what I mean? Because like for me, it's more than just like, oh, if something breaks and this and that. Like for me, I don't want to be tied down. I don't know how much longer I'm going to stay here. I've never been one to stay. This is the longest I've stayed anywhere. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing in the Bitterroot still, but I think after my certifications are up and I'm done with my education, I guess I probably won't be here anymore. I'm just I'm used to bouncing around. You know what I mean?
And that is your lifestyle, 100%. I love people that do the van lifestyles, right? Live in vans and
Yeah, I don't
like
have kids or anything, so I still have a lot of goals, and I don't know where life is going to take me at this point. You know what I mean? And it is really scary to be locked into something for like 30, even if you get a 15-year note, like that's scary. Like I don't want to have to. It kind of feels like signing my fate away. You know what I mean? Like, great, yeah, you can sell the house, but there's a lot that could also go wrong. Like you could end up in a situation where we're at, you know, now, but the opposite where, it's really hard to sell a house and you paid so much for it and things are going wrong and you can't afford to maintain it. There's plenty of people that own their houses that just cannot afford to maintain them. Things are going to start, breaking around them and then they're just going to have to abandon the house anyway.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, no, 100%. Like I said, I see both sides, but there was always that, and for the majority, right? The majority, a lot of people are just like, I would love to buy a house, and now people are just like, I no, and it's the same thing. Like in today's society, there is no benefit to getting married. Just gonna say it.
Well, I don't know
Taxes.
about that.
I don't know.
Taxes.
Tell I don't know.
Well, like for me, I mean, well, a lot of cases insurance is a big deal for
Insurance.
some people. Not so much for me, but a lot of married people get, benefits, like your spouse will get benefits as well. That's actually why me and my
Those
wife, we
tax
were,
breaks.
yeah, and tax breaks as
I mean,
well,
I
and
don't see it, dude.
filing
I still
together and all
owe.
that stuff. But I mean, it's not like huge. I guess there could be
Yeah.
some downfalls if you are not married to the right person and their intentions aren't the greatest.
Right.
Then yeah,
Oh,
it's
absolutely.
it is
Yeah.
sketchy.
Absolutely. Like I said, I nothing in my life changed whatsoever from the years I was with my wife before we got married to the years now after. Nothing has changed.
It's just hard for me to remember a time beforehand because I met my wife. I'm 36 now. I met my wife when I was 18 and she was 17. We went to Job Corps together, and then we got married when I was 19 years old. So
I
Oh, wow.
mean,
I've been with her like my whole fucking life at this point, like
I
half my
mean,
life.
Congratulations.
here you go. You ready? I'm 33. I have a 14-year-old daughter.
Hey,
I was 19 when I met my wife. She was 17.
well, yeah,
Right?
samesies then.
It's the exact same thing.
But
We
yeah, I was
waited.
gonna say we got married because I had a really good job. When I was 19 years old, I was living outside of Salt Lake in Tooele, and it was a Walmart distribution job, not like at the store, but it was
Right.
in their big, like loading the trucks and stuff like that. And I was basically just throwing packages and TVs onto conveyor belts and shit. But anyway, it was a really good job and it had really good insurance. And so I was like, hey, we were talking about getting married anyway. Let's just go to the courthouse so I could get you in on my insurance, essentially. So we
No,
just did
absolutely.
it.
Like I said, things like that.
Here we are,
Absolutely.
it's like 15 years later.
Right. Right. No, we've only been married. Let's see, we got married in 2017. So
I
shit,
got
we've only
married
been
in
married like 6.
2008.
Oh, see, you got married when I graduated high school.
Yeah, I'm an old fart.
You're 3 years older than me. Don't call yourself an old fart.
You're an old fart too.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, you
We're
both
all
are old
getting old,
farts.
fellas.
I think I'm the youngest one in here.
Yeah, I think so.
Mwah.
But
Oh,
all
son
right,
of a bitch.
well, boys, I think that's a good wrap on this. That's a 3-hour
Yeah, I would
episode.
agree with you.
That's a 3-hour episode. This will be our longest one yet.
It happens when you get the gang together.
Yeah, quick little reminder. Make sure to like, follow, share, subscribe, all the stuff. Check the links down below for everyone. I will of course have them there. And one last little self plug. I'm very excited that because of Dizzy's fantastic donation, I will be getting to stream a little bit more variety of content very soon. I will be able to download some more games and have some more things rotating on the stream. I'm going to be getting back into some GTA because I kept my word. I deleted it and I said I wasn't going to play it until I heard word about a GTA trailer, and we got it. So we're going to get back into some GTA Online. We're going to mess around there
Oh
cuz
yeah.
I got tons
There
of
you go.
things to
There
do
you go.
there. So um But yeah, we'll be definitely mixing up the content. I'm also excited to bring back the Chivalry streams. I have Chivalry 2.
Ooh,
I love that game.
there you
It's
go.
fantastic. It's a ton of fun.
I know. I was hoping that Black Friday would bring out some more deals because I really wanted to pick up fucking Hogwarts Legacy. But
Oh yes, get it.
Check tomorrow. Cyber Monday deal's going up for it.
I'll have to
Ooh,
check. I'll have
yeah.
to check Amazon for
I
a
just saw
code
that.
then. I'll have to check Amazon for a code because PlayStation's got it marked down to 42, but that price is good until Monday at 11:59 p.m. So
Yeah, because
that's
a
gonna take
a
us
new deal will
through.
probably launch then. So
Yeah,
I don't know
I'm
what would
hoping.
be better.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell me about it. 'Cause
but
that's one I really
I
like
recommend it.
when it launched. When it launched, I only had a PS4, and then by the time I got the PS5, like it was not on my radar anymore, and now I'm kicking myself in the ass. So
I highly recommend that game if you're a
yeah,
Harry Potter fan. It's so much fun.
100%. After getting back into the movies, I'm considering rereading all the books. And then, dude, have you seen the Magic Awaken on mobile?
No.
It's kind of a, you build, there's a story, there's a linear story to it, but you get to walk
Okay.
around and explore.
I'll have to check that out.
And
Maybe we'll.
I've been
All
enjoying
right, I
it.
gotta go, guys. Sorry.
Oh,
No,
peace
you're
out, Joe.
good. Talk to you later,
Peace, Joe.
Joe.
Bye.
So, but I mean, we'll see. Only time will tell. I'm kind of keeping my eye out for Monday. I'm hoping. that
Yeah,
we
for
have
sure.
something to come up.
Alrighty. Well, I'm gonna wrap this up and get stuff going.
Yeah.
And get stuff uploading. Kyle, you hopping on some CODs?
Always.
All right. Well, are Brendan and Luke on? We're gonna play some Warzone.
Potentially. I'll ask around. I think Brennan works today, so.
Okay, word. All right. I will talk to you in a few minutes after I get all this stuff started. So.
Appreciate it,
Bye.
Join our Discord.
Yeah, join
That's
our
right.
Discord.
Get in there. Let's
Get to the
go.
Demons Club
booming.
Discord. We are getting new members all the time, so please come in, hang out with us. That's where we're always talking. So,
Right.
Two new creators.
Yeah, 2 new creators. Oh, that's right. 2 new creators, Dark Bloom and I'm sorry, Lowe's. Yeah, that's right, Lowe's. I'm sorry. I'm freaking
That's good.
stony
We'll
brain
get
over
intros
here.
for next week. I just wanted to give them a little plug.
Yeah, we're gonna get some
Make it
intros.
more official.
Also, possibility of Kira joining us for next episode. So,
Yeah.
definitely
Yeah,
make
full
sure to
house.
check that out. Thank you guys for hanging out with us, and I hope everybody has a wonderful Sunday. We'll see you guys pretty soon live on someone's stream. I'll be in there in the chat as well.
Yes,
So,
sir.
all right,
Appreciate it.
peace.